I could maybe kill you.
This is awesome. We're going to hell.
Can I have my wheelchair?
This is my right here.
I wish you had a stronger Japanese accent. Superman would have been way cooler.
Spoken like a true racist.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, we gotta start the fucking mango.
Doing it.
Oh,
Everyone,
we doing
get
it?
a can.
Is it
Here
a
you
mango
go,
in a
good
can?
sir. What flavor you want to drink?
I mean, I have ruby grapefruit, but
Okay, we're gonna.
it's going to be mango.
And then
What are we
we're
doing?
gonna
Count
We
it
all
down?
clack it off at the same time.
Yeah, we're gonna count it down from 3, 2, 1.
Wait. And then we're going to try to win?
No, we don't.
What are we doing here?
You just have
We
to
just
take a
gotta put
sip.
it-
You don't
put
have
it to
to.
the
You can
mic,
down it
put
if
it
you'd
to the
like.
mic.
Okay, I didn't know what the... I'm
No,
game.
we're just popping it for sound.
I like how fucking in it to win it you
Let's
are, man.
go. I was like,
3,
I'm not driving.
2, 1. And then drink it as fast as you can. He's like, oh. Just get him shit right.
You seen that video of that kid who's like, yeah, could you drink a soda without burping? And he's just precocious, 17-year-old kid, and he thinks he's all cool, and he just goes, he starts, he's like, he's like, oh, I got what? And he just goes, turns to run, and he burps, and he runs into the garage and knocks him down. You haven't seen this thing?
No.
It is
That sounds like a vine.
amazing.
It's definitely a vine.
Yeah, it probably was, but he torched it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unsubscribed Podcast. I am joined today by Eli Double Tap, the amazing Dean Cain.
Oh, yes.
Brandon Herrera, and myself, Donut Operator. Thank you for joining us today for these shenanigans.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Glad to finally have you on, man.
I'm psyched to be here.
No, you're
I
not.
flew all the
You
way
didn't even know
halfway
we
across-
opened the cans first.
I didn't know that. I didn't say I watched.
I'm so excited
I just
to be
said
on
I'm
this
excited to be here. I'm excited.
Damn
Listen, I am excited to be here because I don't come halfway across the country to sit down with some folks and do a podcast. So I'm fans.
Are we
and
going
I'm happy
shooting?
to be here. I'd love to go shooting, but
Oh, we can make
take
that
him
work.
shooting?
Yeah, I gotta go out to the range tomorrow.
no, I gotta go to ComicCon. I gotta work
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You're doing
When's
Comic-Con
Comic-Con?
stuff.
tomorrow. Well, there's one today, but I'd rather be here.
Oh,
And I'll be there Friday and then Saturday, and then I fly out.
my heart, my soul.
They said his heart grew 3 sizes.
What time's
that
Comic
day.
Con stuff for you?
10:30.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Really early.
And then my
Not
buddy's
the
coming
best at
down. Mr. Foster's coming down from Austin, which is basically California. And he's going to come down. He's my roommate from college, one of my best friends in the world. So we're going to hang out tomorrow night for a little bit. And that's it. I don't have time to go run around and do that, which bums me out because I'd love to. I wanted to come out to your range days a couple times.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
got
man.
close. You guys shot up a bunch of cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Shot a car.
Yeah, well, we have vendors bring out like...
I wanted to shoot a car.
So Brandon has one of the rarest machine gun collections in Texas, and we also have vendors come out. And last time they brought miniguns out, dude. We were just able to like all sorts of stuff. It was awesome.
First time
Hearts out.
we shot a way too expensive Hummer, the one, the
Yes.
H1. We were all just like, could we just like get a replacement, like little surplus Hummer that's like 10 grand and swap it out? They're like, no, you need to shoot the expensive one. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it was a mobile
Okay.
game company. The microtransactions
Hey.
apparently pay out a lot, and they're like, no, shoot this expensive Hummer. It still ran. They like drove it there.
It ran after you shot it up?
No, before it got there.
It was,
They got
it
it
was
running
like
now.
$110,000 vehicle. We were just like, dude,
No, we don't want to.
can I just pay you 10 grand and
You
like
cut to
trade
like a
you?
little mini one, and you guys are blip, 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 blip. And it blows up. Godzilla.
After Effects. I'm like, oh, VFX.
Something weird about that. Didn't seem right.
What you guys? Oh fuck! My brain just like literally turned off what I was about to say.
No, you're doing
It's
great.
good. No, it's gone. It was like Eli, say this. Hamster died.
Yeah.
It just fell off the wheels. Like, nah. Like no, Hammy, come back. It's gone.
My dad killed it.
Yeah, he fucking just slapped it against the wall. Junkyard Digs. That's the one. Junkyard Digs got it running again though. The
Which was
Humvee.
wild.
Yeah, this is after 50,000. I don't know how many rounds hit that.
Yeah.
It was at least a
Was
couple
anybody
thousand.
shooting for the engine block? That was anybody shooting? Everybody, everybody's just,
Oh,
With
yeah.
AP50. Yeah. it
That's
was,
a yes. Okay,
No,
but it was
yeah.
sideways, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
but still, it got.
Not that I want to be on the other side of it trying to hide, but that wouldn't work very well.
No, vehicles are concealment, not or cover, not cover, not
Concealment,
concealment.
not
Concealment, not cover.
Yeah.
Words are hard.
We're just
His hamster's dead too.
Yeah, fucking dude, my hamster died a long time ago. My hamster died 10 White Claws ago today. So
And then there were two.
Your hamster's
barely hanging
drunk.
Eli and I just pass out on the floor by ourselves. Okay, you guys handle this.
Yeah, it's all you. Go. No, you have to come to
go.
the next range day. We got.
I'd love to.
We go shoot.
That'd be awesome.
They do a fantastic job putting that fucking crazy event together. It's one of the times I'm just like,
You get everybody out there too. I saw a video. Almost anyone who is everyone. No, everyone who is anyone.
People
You know what I
who
mean?
can get away from like.
And then there was one.
Exactly. That's just you.
All right, good job, Brandon. But yeah, man, we got a lot of cool people out to the last 2 range days because we only had like 2 big official ones, and it was really cool. The one we had Bill Goldberg come out, Undertaker, like all those guys. It was so cool.
It's wild to
Goldberg's a
see.
big dude.
He's awesome. He lives here with us, man.
He's got his ranch out here, right?
Yeah, his ranch is out here.
He's a badass. I love him. As
cool,
another former professional football player. He played, I think, for the Rams, right? Didn't he play for the Rams?
He played for Atlanta, didn't he?
Atlanta?
yeah. Wait, who did he play for? I know you did, but he was a football player, like a through and through football player.
And I played for Buffalo for like 5
I'll
minutes.
consult the nightmare brick.
See, I don't fucking.
It's all right.
Sports are my weakness.
You got shot, man. It's all right.
I was bad at my job.
He was,
That's all that means.
the Atlanta Falcons.
The Falcons?
Falcons, yeah,
Damn.
Atlanta
All right,
Falcons.
you win.
See, that he wins.
Oh,
I
you
got
said
nothing.
The gerbil got back on.
His hamster's back.
But he was
It's going
a
backwards.
stud, man. He was a stud.
Dude, he is
a stud.
We had he showed us that footage of not seeing footage of him wrestling because he used to wear spandex pants and do a flip, right? There was those weird things. He's like, yeah, this is old Goldberg before WCW. He's like, yeah, this is before I blew up. And the circuit he was running, he had like pants on. He would do a backflip. It was weird seeing him like that. Also, 280-pound man doing backflips is
It was
fucking
just
terrifying.
a solid brick of trend. Like that guy was huge. That was a scary human. He still is. Like for who he is now, for his age and everything, he's still a crazy jacked guy.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Way back in the day, he was just 350 pounds of muscle. That's an intimidating human.
And now he's still pushing like 200 and something at 58. I forget how old.
I'm
Jeepers.
58, man.
So he's 50. He's your age.
That ain't old.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up, man. Shut up.
Sorry.
I'm right here. I know he's right around the corner, but he's not here.
He just walks around. He's just the happiest, nicest dude that you will ever meet. Yeah.
He's done a good job in life. Bless him.
And now you're out here doing the fucking what you had your run. Introduce yourself for everyone that doesn't know. You used to do
I used to dance on film.
Yeah.
For money. Stripped a little. I started a show called Magic Mike, and in the early 1800s,
It picked up.
I picked up. No, I mean as far as my short version of my resume, my life. Well, see, the thing is, you didn't know I played in the NFL.
I didn't.
See, there it is. I grew up in Malibu, California. I grew up with Chris Penn, Sean Penn, Rob Lowe, Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez, all those kids. My dad was a director. He directed all those guys in like Young Guns.
No shit.
So my dad's a cowboy from South Dakota. I'm adopted by him, biological mother. And then I was born in Michigan on a military base, Selfridge Air Force Base. My grandfather was a commander in the Navy, and my mom left my biological father 2 days before I was born, jumped on a bus and then on a train. I could have been born on a train like in Tennessee or in a bus stop. I thought that was kind of cool. But I ended up in a military hospital in Detroit. And then my mom decided to move out to California with 2 boys at the age of 23 to become an actress. Really smart, no money. And met my dad who adopted me, who ended up moving us to Malibu, California, in a little trailer park we grew up. But it was idyllic. And all these guys were in the film industry. I wanted to play football and go to school. And so I did all that. And then just before my senior year of high school, I went and did a movie with my dad, and Robert Duvall starred in called The Stone Boy. And I got killed in that movie early on, and I just did it because my dad said, "You look like the kid." And then I finished my senior year of high school, and I got a lot of options to go play football. So I got a bunch of scholarship opportunities. But
I'm sure you fucking killed it in high school. Like, oh yeah, he's the pro football player that was in movies.
Well, in high school, I wasn't quite there yet, obviously.
Okay.
But college, they were, I was at college, and I chose Princeton instead of going to these football schools because I wanted to go to what I thought was the best school in
you're smart
the
as
world.
shit.
I was a good football player.
Oh, okay.
But I did well in school. The hardest thing about
Princeton's insane.
Hardest thing about Princeton is getting in. And once you're in, if you fail out, you screwed up. Really, that's it. But I had to adjust tremendously because I remember my first exam, I got an 86. I was like, kiss my ass, 86. And they're like, yeah, it's a C plus, Mr. Cain. I was like, what? Not a C plus, it's an 86. Yeah. It's a solid B. Yeah. Looking at an A, and they're like, no, you didn't do any of the extra credit stuff, and we grade on a curve here. I was like, what? There was extra credit? They're
grading
like, yeah,
negative on a curve.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's what they used to do. I don't know what they do now, but stuff's gone crazy insane.
Nowadays they whip out a paint swatch like, Mr. Cain, I don't think you didn't score high enough.
But I'm Japanese. That's the thing. It's also funny is my given name is Tanaka.
No shit.
I'm Japanese. I'm English, Irish, and Japanese.
I wish you had a stronger Japanese accent. Superman would have been way cooler.
Holy shit, the Lois I could have played it that way. So
Superman versus Godzilla.
It's a get there though. That's what it says. The truth.
It's a brain. No, he's a Superman.
Shit. You do a better job of it than I do. Holy crap. But when I got the job of Superman, the internet was in its infancy. I know it's hard to believe for you youngins here. But 93 is when I started playing Superman, and then somebody's like, we want Superman, not Sushi Man.
Wait, for real?
Oh, wow. Holy fuck, the internet was still racist back then.
Yes, it was. But the fun thing was, I thought that was the funniest shit I'd ever heard. My brother, still reminds me of it because he thinks it's hysterical. He calls me, his nickname for me is Wang,
Sushi Man.
Even though it's a Chinese name, because he thinks I look more Asian than he does. And I call him Juan Valdez because he looks more Mexican than I do. And I speak fluent Spanish. So it's just jacked up. But the racist jokes are supposed to happen. Like my best friend's black, and you should hear what we say. And my other great friend is Iranian. If you listen to us speak to each other, you'd think we hated each other. But that's how it's supposed to be.
Chase, just bleep out that entire segment so it sounds really racist. You should hear us, boy.
I've been called. I've played gay in 2 movies. I've kissed a man.
Dude.
And you know what was weird about that?
Kissing a man?
Yeah. I kissed a man, and we tried to fake it at first because he was straight and I was straight. I am straight. So I had to kiss. I played movies.
This is like the fucking scene from The Dictator or The Interview where we're just all just like, Eminem's gay?
Yeah.
Wait, go back to that bit.
Hold on.
That movie was so good.
I kissed a man.
No, Andrew, and we were trying to fake it. And the director, Greg Berlanti, who's like king of all, like he did Supergirl, DC Legends of Tomorrow, all the CW thing. He had actually in the Guinness Book of World Record for having the most shows on. Greatest guy in the world. But it's his story, and he was directing this. And he's like, I know you guys are uncomfortable trying to fake this. So we're trying to fake it. And he's like, it's not working. So could you guys just kiss for a second and do a thing? And I was like, here we go. Let's do it. And then the kid had the softest lips. It was just weird. I didn't expect it.
I picture you pulling away and like, wow.
No, it was music. There's
music playing.
All of a sudden, you got rehearsals, and now you guys are doing it.
Can we block this?
All I want to say is this: he's never called me, and I'm upset. I'm a little bit upset.
How much did you get paid for that role?
Almost nothing. We all did it because we loved the project. Honest truth, and there were great people in it. It was a lovely.
What was
project.
this for?
It's called a movie called The Broken Hearts Club.
Okay,
it's a good film. You should see it. I Kiss a Man. Did I say that already?
Yeah.
That's always one of those things that was like,
I was like, oh God. It's one of those things I was like, I'm an actor and I don't want to do this. I want to do it. And he's like, just go ahead.
You just told me that you read the script and said, I'll do that for free.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
I'm an actor.
All right.
I'm method.
If you want to parse my words, I did say exactly that, but that's
Trust me, I've been in politics. I know how that works.
You have to do in politics. I thought I honest to goodness thought you were going to win, and I was very disappointed that you did not. Or haven't yet won.
Well, depends on what happens in the next year and a half, really.
I'll be so mad if Brandon wins in post.
Oh my God,
he'll be mad. Cody will be mad. We're like, fuck.
It's like I always said it was like a double-sided coin. It was like the way that I compared it was it's like exercise and ice cream. Ice cream is like, okay, well, if I lose, I go back to this baller-ass life that I have. I get to do whatever the fuck I want. I make a lot of money. I do all this sort of stuff. But I know it's kind of like a little hollow. And then exercise, which is, I'll lose a lot of that stuff and I'll lose a lot of that ability, but I know it's better for me in the long run. It's better for the country. So it's like, okay, well, either way, I win in some degree, but it's like, how much are you willing to sacrifice? I was willing to do the job, but it's like, again, exercise, ice cream, and it just so happened I landed on ice cream. So I get to be
Maybe.
back to doing this.
Perhaps
For now.
Maybe. Perhaps.
We shall see.
We shall see. Listen, I'd love to see it happen.
Going back to kissing dudes.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I feel like we breezed past that a little quickly.
that we already passed it?
That is one page. It would be the script wise. I'd have to have a number of like, okay, this has to be a really fucking good script if I'm kissing my boys. It's like,
Or you have to have
not
like
what you
6
told
more of
me.
these.
Wait, you don't kiss your boys goodnight?
but that's kissing goodnight. That's
Okay,
just
okay. That's
friends.
different. That's completely different.
Friendship kisses.
Connor knows.
Yeah.
You don't kiss your boys
Always
goodnight.
kiss the boys goodnight.
There we go.
I kiss my son all the time.
Finn has
He's
something to
24. My son's 24. I kiss him all the time.
It reminds me of the Ricky Gervais show Afterlife, where he's like talking to his father who's like got dementia in a nursing home. She's like, "I love you, Dad." Gay.
Gervais is brilliant.
He's hilarious.
He doesn't give a shit. I love it.
Oh man.
I can respect
All right.
anybody who's willing to call out Epstein and all that and say it's very funny.
He calls out
And
Hollywood.
he did the whole thing when he was hosting the Golden Globes, and he called out everybody. Weinstein. He's like, well, you guys worked for him. You didn't.
yeah.
He's like, you're
Ooh.
friends with all.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up! You all knew him.
And they all knew. I mean, it was
Yeah.
not. Listen, I knew him, but I didn't ever work for him. And he,
Did he have that reputation in the industry already?
Oh hell yes.
Even like from where you were at the time.
Yeah,
Like, he just
I mean, I
fucking-
talked to him. There was a number of movies I was up for, and I ended up not getting, and this and that. But I'm also not like when I was a kid, and I grew up with all these kids. And drugs, like they wouldn't. I was known as an athlete, and as a good student. But I was, I'd run around, have some fun, whatever. But no drugs were ever around me. Like there were never drugs around me. Like I don't like it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go over well. At the same time, it's like people knew, and they knew my father, and they knew just like don't do that shit around Dean. He won't stand for it.
Right.
And I'm a grown man. Like I had an incident with Weinstein. I'd never told this story before, but I'll tell it here. I was in Cannes at the Cannes Film Festival, and I was on a yacht, and I was staying on that yacht. It was a big party, and a friend of mine had just bought Miramax from the Weinsteins, the whole thing. And
Jesus.
there was this there, and we're on this yacht. And I'm
little bit of a
staying on this
purchase.
thing. It's a big ass purchase, and it's a beautiful
Different bank
yacht,
account.
big party. Weinstein's on the boat. Everyone's on the boat. It's a huge party on the boat. It's like 3-4 levels, and I was at the bar in this middle level, whatever. And this one girl, this Polish girl, was dancing, and she was smoking hot. And I was like, "Wow, that girl is the queen of the ball, so to speak." And I saw her, and she looked over, I smiled. And okay, I was like, "Nah, who knows? Whatever. Who knows what the deal is?" And so,
And then she handed you her 9th grade report card.
and she was not even a good student, which was crazy. She was of age. She was of age. But
Which makes her a rarity in Hollywood.
well, it's true. But I saw her, whatever, and then whatever, the party goes on. And then a little bit later in the party now, and people are getting a little bit loose, things are going on. I see her come up like the back stairway, which is about as far as over to the kitchen window, which is, 20 yards, whatever, 15 yards. And I see her come up and like somebody like pulling her from below. And I saw her like just pull her arm out and look over and see me. And she just goes and like bolts over to me. And I was like, sweet, she's coming over. And then she beelines over to me and she's like, hey. And I was like, hey. And then I see from the back who it was that pulled her. Head comes over. It was Harvey Weinstein. He looks over at me and he goes like this and walked away.
Fuck.
And that is the God's honest truth. Because if he'd have come over and he called her like 75 times that night too. Like she's like, here it is again, here it is. I was like, wow. But also like if
And that's why
I'm
she's
there,
not in Hunger Games.
that is 100% why she's not in Hunger Games. No doubt about that. That's true.
It's a joke, but it's honestly like it's disgusting how not joking it is.
No, it's 100% true. Beautiful girl, and she's done very well for herself.
Predators.
But oh yeah, there's a lot of the folks in Hollywood who do it just because they can get. You're not gonna have a shot at a girl like that. He's not gonna have a shot at a woman like that, unless of course he holds all the power and that thing. That's why he's in jail. Even though it got turned over in New York,
Wait, did it?
just New York. They turned.
Oh,
over.
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, well, Alex Jones had a bad opinion about something, and now he got sued for 1.5 billion or
That
whatever
was
the
the
fuck it
weird,
is.
I still don't understand that.
If you call Alex Jones and if you say he's an asshole or you say that he's like got bad opinions, like sure, whatever, you're entitled to that. But to be able to sue him for what he said to the tune of 1.5 billion, it's like
Those were the memes that made it was absolutely crazy thing. It's like, and again, you can think like Alex Jones fucking
Whatever.
way back, like
I don't-
Craig
I don't-
Fox gay, all that stuff. And then,
I don't feel like AOC is particularly smart, but I don't think she's going to get sued for 1.5 billion for some of the shit she says.
no. And then you have, hey, this is the individual that started the war in Iraq. Hey, this is the individuals that did this. They got like they barely went to jail or like a lawsuit of $1 million to $100,000. And you're like, this starting a whole ass war.
Well, it's like the stickers.
Words.
It's like the politicians who allowed grandmothers during COVID to die sad, afraid, and alone are still in office.
Except for Andrew Cuomo.
Well, but like you just have that shit.
Sorry.
Let's fuck his candidate.
Sorry. I apologize. I have a little head cold, but my doctor, Fauci, said I'd be fine if I came here and sat real close with you guys and drank from your drinks. It's okay.
I've
I interviewed him, by
your-
the way.
What?
Way back in February of 2020, I was co-hosting Fox and Friends, and I interviewed him. And I remember he said, and I asked them to give me find that interview for me because I said that. So you're basically saying this is going to be like the flu and it's no big deal. He was saying no mask, no anything at that point in time.
Yeah, no, I remember that because I remember very early on his big thing was like, oh well, cloth masks really don't do anything. And then like a month later, they did a complete turnaround. They're like, oh, that's vital. Everybody needs it for the spirit of compliance or whatever the fuck they said.
And then it was more distance related.
Then 6 feet. 6.6 feet. That has to be the exact number. It's just bullshit. It was bullshit all the way around.
Japan was like, man, we just do this anyway. So
That's true. Are you picking on me because I'm Japanese?
yes.
Okay.
The Superman. Superman.
Godzilla.
Faster speeding a bird.
Do you have any bad habits that you need an alternative to?
No.
Why do you ask?
Well, have you ever heard of the flavored air category?
No.
Tons. Why?
It's quickly becoming the leading alternative to bad habits.
Is that the one that's a whole new movement towards better habits? Led by the sponsor of today's video, Fume.
Fume is an award-winning flavored air device with flavors like crisp mint and orange vanilla.
Fume draws flavor to your mouth hole.
And there's no vapor, so you can use it anywhere.
There's no nicotine. It's not addictive.
Non-toxic flavors.
And no batteries, so you never have to worry about charging it or what happens when it dies and you freak out.
It's a guilt-free alternative. It looks awesome. Branded, feel the weighted, cool design.
Oh my God, it's almost like it's made to fidget with. Like it calms anxiety through the use of magnets and things.
Which of the core flavors is your favorite, Brandon and Cody?
Crisp mint.
I like orange vanilla. It's like a creamsicle.
Fume has served over 300,000 customers.
And you could be the next success story.
For a limited time, use the code UNSUB to get a free gift with your journey pack.
Head to tryfume.com. That's TRYFUM.com with code UNSUB.
Or scan the QR code on screen right now to get a free gift with your order today.
Hey, that's how I grew up watching, Godzilla. I mean, that was it, man. That was the best. And do you remember Giant Robot? You're too young. Giant Robot.
I don't remember Giant
Yeah,
Robot.
you guys you're too young. Damn it.
Sorry, I grew up with Lois and Clark.
There we
Xena
go.
Warrior Princess.
I know.
Hercules with Kevin Sorbo. That's what I grew up on.
Kevin Sorbo, a good buddy of mine. Guess who the number 2 person? There was 2 of us went to network for Superman. It was me and Kevin Sorbo.
You got it over him.
Yeah, I heard his audition too. Kevin, I think you played it a little angry. So he played it a little more angry. But I was like, he's blonde hair. You can't get it. He's blonde.
You nailed it. I remember as Cody saying, it's growing up and it's still in my time frame of watching it at my aunt was a super huge fan of you, watching it in that small ass apartment. They're like,
I think we talked about it too. We didn't have cable, but we could always watch that on like WB13 or like some of the free channels that you would get over the antenna. And it was fucking Xena. It was Lois and Clark, and it was Hercules. And they were back to back to back, and it's like, this is my shit right here. I'm 9 years old, like, yes.
Go heat up. Wait, don't you?
Wait, you
heat
were
up
9?
Fuck. Ish. Sorry.
Ish, 9. No, such a great. Listen, I love doing that job. It was amazing. It's too much work, by the way. It's 18 hours a day minimum every day
For sure.
Really?
That's why I won't do another series.
No shit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and then out the gate, you probably didn't. What season did you actually start getting paid a little bit better than the?
I renegotiated after the first season. The
Okay,
first season, the amount of money I
trash.
made, I didn't even want to talk about.
Dude, it's trash.
I was just
pay out
so
the gate.
happy to have a job. I could pay my rent. I was like, this is awesome. And then I realized what it was like, because back then there was 3 networks, ABC, NBC, CBS. That was it. The CW hadn't even come in. The Fox hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
So, and you have to, before you test a network, you have to sign your contract. So you have to know how much money is on the line now. That's great. This much money's on the line. Don't fuck it up. It's like, oh my God. When I got the job, I was like, all right, I got the job. But then I was like, holy shit, I got the job. It's almost like if I ran for Congress and then got, and then you get the job. What the hell? Holy shit. And it felt like that though. I was like, I don't know how, will they like me? Will anybody believe that I can play this character? Are they going to hate? Who knows? I was terrified.
Would they accept a Japanese Superman?
I never
Sushi man.
Sushi man.
This is where I'm starting to wonder. Like, man, I am way less racist than I thought. I had no idea that you were any sort of Asian descent.
Oh yeah, well of course then
Mexican.
But I'll speak. I've played Mexican. I played Hawaiian. I played Italian.
I
played a
So you
racist.
made a career off of what is that?
Ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
That's it.
What is it?
Racially
Cultural
ambiguous.
appropriation.
Oh yeah. That's really. They should change the second word to appreciation, because that's what it is.
Spoken like a true racist.
Thank you very much. So the funny thing is like when
Colonizer.
when all that
Piece
was
of shit.
when that's happening, and somebody's like, they're calling me, he's a white supremacist, and they're like, his given name is Tanaka. It's tattooed on my ankle right there. That's Tanaka. Is it? That says Tanaka, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
From the
That looks like a
Japanese
basket and a
kanji.
dreidel.
It is a basketball dreidel.
Yeah.
So no, but it was like they're like, somebody's going, he's a racist. Look at it, he says this. And I'm like, what? And somebody's like, hey, his given name is Tanaka. He's Japanese. He's like, what? He whitewashed that so he could go to. I got adopted, you assholes. It wasn't like I changed it at 4 years old myself. I don't want to be known as a Japanese man, so I'll hide that. Very proud of it, and it's just crazy the things people say. It's insane.
Oh, I love it.
It's insane.
Just you being just hating on you. Like he changed his name on purpose. Like, man.
Yeah, I changed it because I was terrified of Tanaka. That's why I tattooed it on my ankle.
So when you got into like Superman, your first season, you're like, okay, the pay is shit, lots of work, but then you're like, okay.
But it was more than I'd ever made, by the way, ever.
How old were you at the time?
26 when I got the job, 27 when it aired.
That's awesome.
I didn't have a kid. I don't even think I had a dog at the time. And I love dogs. I'm a dog guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a cat guy. I'm allergic to cats, and they will eat you if you die. I think cats look at you and they're like, I could maybe kill you.
Yeah, dude, they eat your eyeballs
Did they
first, too.
It's soft. It's easy to get in there. Yeah, sorry.
Spoken from a man with cats.
No,
Well, I think they want to kill you.
I've seen it, dude. You think I haven't shown up to a house before where like grandma died?
Oh, that's
and
right. Yeah.
Grandma was a cat person, and the cats don't have food, and it's sweltering, fucking 98 degrees outside, and you go in there and you smell it right away.
There
You're
it
like,
is.
I know what I'm about to see right now, and the cats ate her eyeballs and her tongues, and then the cats fucking died in the house because no one's feeding them. They already ate grandma. It's really fun.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really awesome to watch the audience wince at this
We'll
story.
be right back after these messages.
Meanwhile, we're all just like,
Yeah, fuck it.
Jamie, put it up.
Jamie,
It's just like,
show grandma soup.
grandma soup's the best.
Dude, grandma soup is awesome. When they fucking don't pay their air condition, or they don't pay the power bill for so long, the air conditioning cuts off. So there's just like 10 dead cats, and then grandma soup. It's so awesome.
grandmothers, they are a leaky people.
Especially when they're fucking dead.
Oh yeah.
Just air that place out.
See, that's what you should be able to watch on Saturday Night Live, but you can't. Can't see that.
What SNL skit is that? Oh,
It should be. That's
it's
it
just
should
dead
be.
women. Like,
Grandma soup. There it is again. I mean, humor is supposed to be dark. I mean, listen, you know
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Military and police officers, and I'm actually currently a sworn deputy sheriff in Frederick County, Virginia, and
Frederick County, really? Okay.
and a reserve police officer in Pocatello, Idaho, and I like that out there. Idaho's great. Yeah, so they have to have that dark humor because the shit that they see is awful.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't be able to survive without gallows humor.
You have to have it.
You have to have it.
it'd be weird not. It's fucking mind blowing when people get offended by dark humor. Thankfully,
You can't joke about that. It's like, well, that's what
Have
the
you
people
experienced
who've
it?
seen it joke about.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to joke about baby lasagna and spaghetti till the day that I die when a baby gets drug under a car. Because otherwise, you're just going to head off, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to get to you, and you're going to be upset, and you're going to do the sewer slides.
I hope Chase, if you can, just put a really bad laugh track when he says that.
legitimately, but legitimately, that's how you identify somebody who's never experienced jack shit in their life, is if they get offended over like that, because they're getting offended for people who would think it's hilarious.
Yeah,
100%. But soldiers get that all the time, like in war. Like, you can't joke about veteran sewer slide or anything like that. It's like, oh, we can, and we're going to.
You have to.
Yeah, it's part of life. It's that, or just eat yourself up on dumb shit that I wouldn't hang out with anyone like that. Thank
It's also
God
like
I don't.
it's like Jester's privilege too. It's like, you're able to say whatever you want under the guise of comedy, but you're also able to use that and talk about real things. It's like the Jester is the only one who can talk about the king negatively,
Oh yeah, very
like
true.
something like that.
Be a thin line though back in the day.
Yeah.
Some jesters are like, oh, you got an asshole king. Like, kill him. Like, sorry.
We're getting there now if we're not too careful. Jeez.
Everything's
kidding.
fine.
Anything you say, it's crazy. But I think that's why Greg Gutfeld does so well on the Gutfeld show. It's the number one.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just, and he always has humor in it. I've been doing his show since Red Eye, so I've seen that from the very beginning. And that injecting that humor in it, where there's a little germ of truth in there, and you can make fun of it. That's what people appreciate. Not freaking what's his name dancing about getting the vaccine. Stephen Colbert. The vaccine.
He used to be so good though. Like
when he was doing the bit.
Yeah, dude. When he was on Bit, he was spot on. He played like a dumbass, just like retarded.
Who's
dude.
the other guy too? The other guy, the British guy, that was really good. He had his own little segment. It was just like the Colbert Report.
Same. Then
John Oliver.
John
Thank
Oliver
you.
used to have
he
really good bits
turned.
too.
His
Holy
first
crap.
season was fucking hilarious because it was very much like libertarian. We hate everybody who isn't who is not non-government. Like that, the way that he approached things very early on was hilarious, and then he just went the whole like Orange Man bad route.
Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad.
And there's a lot of like left-leaning comedians who have even said like, humor died when Trump took office, because then comedy became not about like what jokes you can make and what things are actually funny, but comedy became who could get the most applause from the audience.
And it's not laughing; it's just applauding a idea. They're like, "Oh, I agree with that. My little echo chamber is going to be so happy." Here.
And that's when SNL died.
Plus, Trump was funnier than them anyway.
Yeah.
He is funny as shit, and people don't get the humor. He says some really funny.
You don't even have to agree with him. He's just a genuinely funny person.
He is. You can totally disagree with him. He'd be like, okay, you can disagree with me too. He wouldn't. I don't think he'd probably say some shit about you, but that's part of the deal. That's part of the deal. I've known him for a long time before he was president, when he was running the Miss Universe pageants.
Miss America?
Was it Miss Universe? I think it was Miss Universe because
no shit.
Yeah, so I judged it, and I judged Miss World, but he didn't run that. That was in London. That was a lot of fun. I could tell some stories. And then after the show,
was this before or after you were kissing men for no money?
This is before. But then I judged the Miss Universe pageant too for President Trump, but he was not president at the time, Mr. Trump. And it was funny because there was remember Carrie Prejean? The girl, this girl was crushing the competition, and then had to give an answer about gay marriage, and she said, "I believe in traditional marriage, and this is what I believe." Blah blah, and she didn't win because of that. But it's her belief, and you can believe whatever the hell you want to believe, and that's she should be able to have that. And people go, "Well, I don't agree with that," or this or that. But she didn't win because of that, or she had to give up the crown and became a big whole thing. And then so he basically said, have your mind made up before the questions, because this is a beauty contest. And I was like, that makes sense to me. I'd still ask the question, and my girl didn't win. Whatever. It's not like I'm bitter. It's not. She took second, but whatever. But it was interesting because but he's so direct and he's so straightforward. Yeah, there's no baloney with it. He's telling you what he thinks, and that's it. And I don't think that politicians do that very often. No. I don't like. I know a lot of our politicians, and the ones I know that I can speak to, I like them. They're good people, but there are a lot out there that are absolute buffoons who are frighteningly stupid, and it's just true.
No, I trust me. I know.
I know you know. It's just that it's shocking that these people are, and this is the crowning achievement of their life. For you, you'd take a step down to go serve, and that's a cool thing.
That was the moment that, there's a moment that you become an actual adult when you realize that your parents were as dumb as you are. And you realize, oh, fuck, they're just two people trying to make their way in the world. And that's a moment of growing up where you realize your parents are you. You're like, fuck, okay, they weren't this deity with all the answers. They were just me. And then you have that second moment when you come to politicians, you realize, oh, they're worse. Like a lot of these people are, you put them, I made the mistake in my own mind of thinking like, okay, if you're smart enough to be able to get past all this process and get to this office, you have to have some level of intelligence, which is true. Like you do have to have some of that, or at least the connections or whatever. But I always put them on like kind of a subconscious pedestal. And then meeting a few of them, there's a lot I have a lot of respect for. There's a lot that I genuinely to this day consider very smart people, very, very good people. But there's some of them I'm like, oh, fuck, you're retarded.
Yeah.
I mean, the one with the flipped an island. What happens if the island?
No. Look, let's be honest.
Like this is like the level of
Hank
evil.
Johnson. Let's be honest though. Guam's really small. I mean, so he really had a point. So you're this close.
What happens if it flips?
An AR-15 weighs as many as 10 boxes that you may be moving.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, encased in gold.
You're talking
over
about,
and over and over.
What, Hank Johnson.
Hank Johnson was
of Atlanta.
Guam, of Atlanta, where Guam would flip over, and he's still in Congress.
Oh God,
Still in Congress.
The look that Navy admiral gave him.
It's confusion.
Yeah, he was like,
why couldn't he just?
It's not a boat.
We're not prepared for that eventuality or whatever. He's like, we're not.
you try to be so nice to him.
You could tell he had that like equations flying back past his head, and he was just thinking like, Sir, I don't want to give you an answer that's going to insult your intelligence just in case I misunderstood the question. But fuck me, if you're asking me what I think you're asking.
Wouldn't that have been epic though if he'd just been like, "Are you an idiot?" Yeah, I mean, he said that
because he wanted to say that so bad.
He'd have said that if you were under his command.
Yeah. Are you trolling me? Yes. Are you fucking with me?
Sir, you retard. Islands don't tip over. I just wanted...
You know they're not floating. They just don't... They're not a raft. They're just out in the ocean. Just Guam moving about.
Guam keeps moving.
Oh, Guam's in Florida. Push it off. It goes, damn it, Guam's back again. They run in, jump. Illegals, get it away.
Tugboats just taking Guam.
You have an engine on Guam. Start it and drives away.
That's how we get rid of all the Cubans. We just dock Guam and Miami and put them all on board. And
there you go. Jeez.
Push it off. Jesus Christ.
It's frightening. That's some scary shit.
And then you realize that is one out of 435 votes in the House.
Yep. And he won.
He got reelected, I think, twice since then.
Yes. That's what's terrifying. That's not like one issue where if I truly respected my congressman and then they said that, I'm like, oh,
I can't do that anymore. Yeah, you got.
He keeps winning though, dude. Keeps winning. Just
it's all in the up and up. You know that, right? That's all.
So.
No, I hope so too. I don't think that it is, but I think it's ugly as hell. And you get the ballot stuffers, and you get Wanda the ballot stuffer. She's running around out there, and all the other folks running around. It's some scary stuff. I'm all for showing voter ID. I'm 100% for that.
Oh yeah,
I'm for single day voting, and unless you have a reason, you ask for an absentee ballot. I left California now, and I've registered in Nevada, and I was able to, but I registered as an independent because I don't want to follow anybody's line 100%.
Does Nevada have open primaries?
No.
Okay.
So I couldn't vote in this, but
that was the only reason why whenever I registered to vote, I never registered as a libertarian or something, which is where my ideology is more so.
I'm pretty much in the same ballpark.
But I never registered that way because I wanted to be able to vote in primaries.
Yep. But I chose to not do that.
Yeah.
And I'll just suck it up. My son did the same. His girlfriend actually did the same as well. Not that I'm running the votes in my house.
Right.
I'm just saying, if they want to eat, straighten up.
Just cut it off right there.
Just straighten up. No. We talk politics in the house, and my son's 24, his girlfriend's 20, and it's really interesting to hear their perspective on things and hear what they know. But first of all, they know jack shit unless they've been there. Now, my son's been to Israel and Jordan, so he's spent some time over there. He's seen a lot of the things, and my son and I were at the spot where they believe was the baptism site for Jesus Christ, and it's pretty damn cool to be able to get down there. Exactly.
Well, literally, yeah.
Literally, and it was really cool.
Yo,
and turned out that my buddy from Princeton.
And was that John the Baptist?
Yeah,
or was that
John the Baptist? Okay. And we got to see the cave where John the Baptist was, and all these places they found. And the guy who runs all that is was a kid that I went to college with, and now was one of the princes of Jordan. And that's the good thing about going to school at Princeton, is the people that you run around with. I mean, I was 2 years behind. So when I was a sophomore, the seniors were Jeff Bezos and Michelle Obama, but I didn't know either one of them. I'd like to go back in time and buddy up with Bezos now and be like, hey, listen, if you need any seed money for any companies you're thinking about, I'll just help. I'll get it to you.
Here's 10,000. Appreciate you, dog.
That was your I'd love to go back in time and invest in Bitcoin.
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy, but.
That dude's insane when you see his business venture and that level of taking off. It's like, it's a bookstore. It's no longer a bookstore.
I sell everything.
I feel like a fucking dinosaur when I buy books on Amazon.
Didn't his wife become the richest woman on the planet
From a divorce,
by divorcing him?
She became like one of the top 10 richest people in the world by divorcing him.
Yeah.
Like instantly I would divorce anyone I don't know. Like for $110 billion, babe, we're just cutting it. If you made 220 billion, we're staying together first off because you made a lot of money. And I'd be like, where was this business venture? How did you do this without my knowledge?
So Eli, you're really lucky that your couch is comfortable.
So lucky.
That
Give
just
me the
happened.
shovel.
That just happened.
Just keep digging, homie.
I watched it happen.
Like 220 billion, and she got, I think it was like $110 billion from the divorce or something.
crazy.
Like 80 to 100.
Who was the second? Was like Oprah? I believe?
Oprah, what? But Oprah's net worth, she was the first black billionaire, and then there was a couple female billionaires before that. One being the girl off of Seinfeld.
Really?
Yeah, most people don't realize she's rich.
Louis Dreyfus, yeah.
She's
No
rich
shit.
as
I did not know
yeah.
that.
It comes from, is it her husband's money or is it their family? It's her family money.
Yeah.
And then there's J.K. Rowling, I believe.
Yep, she
She's
sold
up there.
1.2 billion and then she went down to under $1 billion for like charities, and then probably still back.
I love her.
over.
Good for her.
She's a fucking monster. I like that no one would buy her book, and they're like, "This is trash. This is trash." She's like, okay, and then company finally got it, and they're like, "You can have most of the rights." So when it just took off,
God,
yeah, that's why she's worth an arm and just printing money with that series.
Yeah, but that's also like Sopranos. So everybody took that show out there. Every network turned it down. Everybody said no.
Shit.
Everybody. And then boom, HBO makes it. It's a monster. So God bless her. Well done. You never give up. That's what the thing. You just keep going. You keep going. You keep going. Say you lose a congressional race by like 400 seats. You don't give up. You
don't do this right now.
Sorry. Did I say that?
You're one of like 6 people in the last fucking 2 days who's just been like, so you're not quitting, right? Like I'm like,
I'm trying to quit. Every time you
like
quit,
I didn't want to do it the first time.
Brandon, quit.
But that's
okay.
the thing. But you know what? The fact that you didn't want to do it is the exact reason you should run. And I know you probably heard that 1,000 times. They tell it to me all the time. Only I didn't buy it. You did. Thank God. But
Thanks, pal.
It's the truth is that I don't know.
But there's truth to it. There really is.
I don't want to run. I don't want to be in that situation. They will find shit, make up shit that I've done. The whole thing with the donkey is bullshit. I told you that earlier. That the donkey thing didn't happen.
I know.
I know you did a breakdown on it and everything, but that wasn't me. You can't prove it was me. I had a mask on. That's the thing.
The
But that will show up.
1998 film, Dean Kisses Donkeys.
It was 2001.
He had a luchador mask and everything. It was fucking.
Luchador was
It
important.
was a deep fake. It didn't exist. Deep fake.
It was a cheap fake. A cheap fake, as Karine Jean-Pierre says.
Dude, we've talked about multiple times is just seeing the level of corruption and how they manipulate stuff for politics, Congress, anything like
Media.
that was eye-opening. After the
gross.
military, I was like, fuck politics, fuck government.
Because
Good to go.
a lot of veterans, like you said earlier, are disenfranchised with media, with the government, with everything, and they have a fucking right to be.
Yes, they do.
And then we seeing that, and then firsthand watching just Brandon get run like over by a bus
By a
every time.
Republican.
And they were just switching. They were just like, no, this is just take that soundbite, take that soundbite. He's a piece of shit, whatever it is. And you're like, oh god,
Heaven
like
forbid
this
you make a
story.
joke.
You like this story? At
I
one
know
point,
the story, but I think
there's multiple things they've taken out of context. My favorite one was the California thing.
I don't think I know this one.
So
I hate California anyway now. So
I legitimately said because I've been to California for I used to date people there and like whatnot and I've been there for business and a bunch of other shit. I genuinely think California is a beautiful place.
gorgeous.
Beautiful place. I said California is probably my favorite state in the country.
Cut.
If everybody, yeah, exactly. It's my favorite state in the country if everybody who lived there didn't. And that's
funny.
Verbatim what I said. They know shit for an ad. Cut where I said, California is my favorite state in the country. Those 2 seconds.
You weren't kidding.
No, they literally
they were
cut
running
that.
it on San Antonio television here for a long time. We'd be sitting at brunch or sitting at the bar, and Brandon would be on the TV saying, California is my favorite state in the country.
They're like,
Cut.
Brandon Herrera is a fake Republican in Texas. He loves California. By the way, also at the same time, he's a right-wing neo-Nazi. Like all sorts of shit. It's like, dude, I'm just a normal guy who just wants the Constitution to be respected. I'm sorry.
But isn't that disgusting?
Yeah.
That's what we have to go through and what we have to see and what we first of all, as a country that has to watch and try to sift through all that bullshit, try to figure out what the truth is. And then when you do see it, you're like, wait a minute, there's his entire quote. And that doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing that Trump's going through with the very fine people bullshit hoax. And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists. They should be condemned totally. That's the statement. Not there's very fine people on both sides. That stuff is crazy.
My favorite was the most recent one where he's at a rally. He's joking about people like it was so fucking hot. He was talking about like, oh, I don't want anybody to fall out. Like, be careful. Like, everybody make sure you hydrate and everything. He's like, but I don't really care about you. I just care about your votes.
And then
he jokes. He's like, oh, just wait till you see that on the news. They're gonna say I said a horrible thing, and that's pretty good. And they cut it immediately.
Of course.
Yeah.
And they're still holding on to it.
Yeah, they cut that bit. He's like, I don't care about you. I just care about your votes. That's all they took.
That's it.
Because he's very clearly making a joke about how hot it is and whatnot.
Wow, it's weird. I would never want to touch politics in a million
It's fucking awful.
But as a person
cock
sitting at
and ball
home,
torture.
Yeah, and someone sitting at home, they're watching. How do you sift through the bullshit? How do you know?
Which is the terrible part about American politics now is that it's all about money. It's whoever has the most money to push a narrative wins. We got outspent 10-1. And even though we were right on most of the stuff, and like even the people on my opponent's team knew that wasn't the truth. They could push it. They had the money to push it. And that's what people think, even to this day. Like the people that like confront us at bars over shit that I allegedly said. It's like,
that was retarded.
Oh yeah, we talked about. Did we talk about that? The one dude, Brandon, hates veterans. Naturally, everyone knows this. As a veteran, Brandon is a veteran. Fuck off. But a dude, we do the double salute for Brandon. That's what.
Just like always been a guy, like I've been around it my entire life. That's always been my sense of humor. I've always supported veteran groups and everything because I think it's important. Like it's a genuine thing. And because things were taken out of context, there's now people who come up to me in public thinking like, bro, I can't believe you fucking hate America's veterans. It's like, are you serious? Like,
first off, I hate all veterans, not just Americans.
Oh yeah. Oh, anybody.
Everyone. If you don that flag, fuck you.
Unfortunately, that clip right there gets cut up, and that's what he says. That's it.
No, they can push that. I don't care.
For when Eli runs for
Eli, Purple Heart recipient, hates veterans. 100%. 100%.
By that I mean 100% disabled. Fuck yourself.
100% go yourself.
It's just crazy, man. The amount of people think that like I'm immune to propaganda, and then they fall for that. It's like, no, everybody like, and it's hard to combat that because, if you're having enough money spent against you,
you hear the message over and over and over.
That's why I hate white people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Same here.
Same here. Yeah.
What's funny is that like replace white with anything else, and we'd be worried about being age restricted on YouTube.
We talked about that before.
Oh, can we get the algorithm up real quick? Yeah. I hate white people. I hate white people. I hate white people. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Star Wars act like it's great.
It's like boom, a million views fucking
act like it's the greatest series ever.
I love
also,
the
Morgan buy Bitcoin and gold. I don't know.
Real estate. I want to buy a house. I want to buy real estate. Can I qualify for a home?
The AI's like high CPMs.
Watch this be the highest CPM episode ever.
It's like fitness, real estate. Bam.
Done.
Algorithm.
All alone? Now time to trim the old pubes.
Hey there, beach babe. Are you ready to soak up those summer vibes and get the perfect beach bod?
I don't have pants on.
Yeah, I noticed. Well, you're in luck, because our friends over at manscaped.com have you covered from head to toe. With the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, they'll have you looking and feeling good this summer. Trust Manscaped to unlock the confidence you need to turn heads this summer season. Join the 10 million men who already trust Manscaped and use discount code UNSUB at checkout to get 20% off your order plus free shipping. Let's make this summer your smoothest one yet.
Keep your ear and nose as tidy as your hedges. With the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose head trimmer, you'll be looking classy as ever.
The updated Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra groin and body hair trimmer got a summer makeover. It's waterproof now for all those times you need to shave your groin or body hair at a pool party.
So get 20% off plus free shipping using code UNSUB at manscaped.com. The summer sun is here to stay, so trust Manscaped to keep those pubes at bay.
Yo, the next month when we do shit with the NAACP, it's gonna get wild.
Speaking of, would you like to go into the offenders?
Oh no.
Tell me about the offenders.
Cody, break it down.
All right, we have a superhero group. Obviously, named the offenders.
Like the Avengers.
I get it.
Yeah. So you name a superpower. It's going to be hard with you. We already know who you are. Damn it. You name a
Sushi Man.
superpower,
Yes,
and then
exactly.
exactly.
That's pretty good.
And then everyone has to, like everyone in the group, comes up with an offset for it. For instance, I said I can fly, but in order to fly, I have to shout racial slurs.
So if he has to rescue Section 8 children from a fire, he's just bringing a ladder.
Yeah.
Fair.
Or
Why aren't
a
you
lot
flying
of
us
bleeps.
out of here? Don't.
Listen here, you little. Oh my god!
Jesus.
Wow.
It's
It's
great.
aggressive.
Brandon.
Wow.
So I'm invincible, but I constantly
invincible?
kill myself. So
Or
like,
can you die?
I can't
think
die
you just-
permanently.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
I can't
Very
die
Deadpool.
permanently.
It's very Deadpool.
So, but my body stays where it was. So if I just wake up in the morning and I see 3 of myself hanging from the ceiling fan, I'm like, oh, we didn't handle Thursday well.
Or Friday.
Because I don't remember. Because I don't remember how it happened.
Yeah, which is.
And then
I still
Eli,
like that one.
yours?
I'm crime cuck. I travel at the speed of light, kind of like the Flash, but I can't interact with objects for 5 minutes upon arrival.
So think about a heinous crime
wow.
taking place.
Can't do anything.
He can't interrupt it.
I
He has to sit there
yell
and
at
watch
them.
for
Yeah,
5
and
minutes.
Say stuff. You
If you're
stop
that
it.
fat,
Your
you
dick's
can't go
small.
back. You can't go back in time. You can't,
I just like
can't
get
time
little.
travel. He's not so fast. You can't time travel.
No, I
that
just-
sucks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that. I don't want yours.
Oh, but you want to fly? Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care
That
about
sounds
that.
cool as shit.
That doesn't bother me that much. I got
Six
super
slide
skin.
man over here.
What the hell
So
would I do?
you
guys have
obviously-
yours. Well, you guys already have your stuff figured out.
Yeah. No. I mean, what are
need
you
help.
going to say? You're already fucking Homelander. Like, what are you going to do?
Very much so. I haven't watched that yet, but oh my god!
Oh, you'll-
I catch bits of it. I was like, wow. It's. I have to see it.
You
It's
really
it's what
should.
superheroes would probably turn into really quickly, especially if they're like how it's actually in the comics or the show without ruining anything. When it's like that, and then you're elevated to the status of like a Hollywood celebrity, and you have all the power in the fucking world. Yeah.
Especially with you coming from the Hollywood space, I feel like you would appreciate that movie or that show.
I want to see what's it called.
The Boys.
The Boys.
Yeah.
I've heard about it a lot. I've never had the time to see it, and I'm going to take the time.
So you are Superman, but would you want those powers, or would you want a different set of powers?
I mean, those powers are pretty damn good because it does have the flying power, it does have the invincible power.
You can heat up soup.
You can heat up soup. You can shave in the mirror very carefully. I don't know how that one worked. You can see through things. You can see through objects. Like you don't have to just see through, a dress. You can like look into their
Calm down,
innards.
Harvey
Oh,
Weinstein.
yeah. You could give the.
You're trying to be a peeping Tom. You're just like randomly, you have cancer.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, your heart valve is closing.
What were you looking at?
You're looking at some thick women, buddy.
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Them big old women in San
Big
Antonio.
girls. Oh shit. What would I? So if I,
So you're probably the only guest we will ever allow to have all of those powers just because you already had them.
I had him.
Yeah.
I had him. I understand that, but it is Homelander. He's very much Homelander. He is. I saw that for a little bit. I was like, I don't know if I can watch this. I don't know if I'm mentally prepared to watch this because
It's really good how they do like Homelander. You're like, he's awesome, and then you're like, oh,
he's not.
fuck, dude.
Bro, he's a psychopath in the show. Yeah.
and
The
he-
American way.
Oh, does he? Does oh God. See, I believe in the American way, and so that will really disturb me. It really will.
You will love it too. It is crazy how well that actor. What's the actor's name?
Andrew Starr?
Andy Starr?
Anthony Starr.
Anthony Starr. Thank
He
you.
looks good.
Dude, he fucking nails it every time, and how he does a psychopath, especially when he's talking to himself. You're like,
He's a
he is
great
the only-
actor.
Yeah.
Dude, you are uncomfortable when he walks in, and he is so good at facial micro expressions. It is fucking terrifying.
All right, now I have to watch it.
He's also he was one of the few superhero main characters in popular media now who refused to do the workout program. He's like, no, just give me a muscle suit. Who gives a fuck?
I love that he does not give a fuck.
He's not doing steroids. He's not doing anything. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna give me a fucking muscle suit.
And he looks really good, but the second he's not in that muscle suit and you're just his day-to-day life, you're like, oh, I forgot he wears a muscle suit.
Wow.
He's like 130 pounds soaking wet.
Is it really?
Oh, dude,
my
he's
God.
a tiny guy. That
Oh,
suit,
wow.
That suit is like he's probably $150.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was big in Banshee. Did you ever see Banshee?
No.
It was such a good show with him. It was.
haven't seen that.
He's just a good actor.
He's just an incredible actor, dude. Like spot on. Chef's kiss, fucking amazing. Like you said, with those little the things he does with his face, beautiful.
He looks like he can be like full on smile and a tear will come. Like he is fucking a
Psycho.
psychopath.
Yeah.
Like a psychopath. And you're like,
And he's dangerous.
Wow.
And that makes him dangerous as shit.
oh,
right?
and when he talks to the troops in that show, he's like, you guys are the real heroes.
I saw
Good
that
job.
scene.
Yeah, he
I
just
saw that
cut-
scene.
Just cutting dudes in
I
half.
was just
You're
like,
oh,
wow.
dope as shit.
Yeah, he's a bit psycho. Yeah.
Power.
Well, that's why I like the version of Superman because he was raised by small town Kansas, parents with strong small town
Done
American
right.
values. And
Yep.
that's why I like. He could have been Homelander, but instead he was Clark Kent. That's the truth.
God, that was so deep.
It's the truth, though. I say it all the
Aw.
time. Well,
I
people,
love it.
I say I believe in that phrase, truth, justice, the American way, because of that. Because, excuse me. Thank you, Fauci. I'm good.
More of that COVID, yeah.
He could have done anything. He could have been, I like that guy back here. I appreciate you guys having him in here with me.
Yeah, we got
Henry.
Big H back here.
Big Henry.
Big H.
He's a real nice guy. And he did a great job with Superman. It was just a very dark version of it. But they sort of, put the Jesus thing up there and did that whole thing with him. And it was just a dark version. And I appreciate what they did. And Zack Snyder makes great films and tremendous. He's got some tremendous images in that too. But it just wasn't my favorite iteration of it. And I like the more positive
Who was your favorite?
Christopher Reeve.
Okay.
Yeah. Christopher Reeve was my Superman. I was just like, I was 1978 or something like that. I know you guys all probably weren't born, but whatever. But I was you weren't even close to being born.
Not even close.
Okay.
Some of the shows.
I know. I
That's fucked up.
yeah, we've all seen it. But
dude, it's so good.
Well, I enjoyed being here. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Some of those scenes where
Well,
you
Can I have my
Gee.
wheelchair? Can I have my wheelchair?
oh God, you made the joke before. I was worried about being the guy who did it. I'm like, well, why to flex
I
on
didn't
him
mean
by
that
walking
chair. I didn't
away?
mean that wheelchair.
You're the one that made it. Clip it. He hates Christopher.
Well, I got something to say about that though. Listen, we've all been around people, police officers or military, or even just athletes who end up in a chair like that, and you always ask yourself, or at least I have, because I've been close to having real problems in a football game and things like that, and I've been knocked out and put my head down when I shouldn't put it down and things like that. How would you react to that situation where you have no physical movement? How you always go, how would I do? And I don't know that I would be able to be as gracious or as Superman-like as Christopher Reeve was. That's unbelievable. And what he continued to do and his spirit, and that was amazing. So that's the most Superman thing he ever did in my book. That was amazing. And I was able to go to his foundation one time and I saw his kids and everything out there. And it was very inspiring. But he was my Superman, and how he reacted to that was truly superhuman.
You're such a good dude.
No, it's the truth though. Think about it.
I know.
mean,
you trust me. I'm not like no one's joking about it. That's I'm just saying. Like usually you would have a plethora of dark jokes from what you're saying, but
Well,
it is
the
the
dark
Well,
jokes
I mean,
are
I
there,
could
yeah.
come out and say, how do you feel about Christopher Walken? But
That's a play on words, man.
I'm sorry.
I did do a movie.
I'm going to go now.
I did a movie with him, though. I did do a movie with Christopher Walken, which was fun.
Oh, shit.
What was that? It was called $5 a Day. I just did a couple days on it, and He was at a.
How many men did you kiss?
4. What? It's not. That's, I don't mark
4
it that
men,
way.
5 days. That's
It's
okay.
I'm
I'm gonna kiss you.
But I said I won't do one a day.
Paul Atreides. Pucker up.
My God,
pretty good.
we have Superman here.
Listen,
Stay.
I'll kiss you.
There's only one guy in the world who does that, and it's him. It's amazing. He's so good at it. He and his kid he's shown his kid how they can live on $5 a day by going to the
Dudes.
local kissing dudes, going to the local place and having the free breakfast at the acting like you're staying at the hotel and blah 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 all that
Just
stuff.
like taking your kids to Costco.
Oh God. Yeah. Are we talking about my father now?
That was the idea of this movie with Christopher Walken, and he ends up coming into our wedding, a wedding of my daughter and somebody else and whatever, and then he starts dancing with my wife, and then I get mad and want to beat him up. And it was fun.
Did you fight Christopher Walken?
I think I threw him up against a fence and threatened to kick his ass, and something happened. I forget what happened.
This is awesome.
You forgot the one time you fought Christopher Walken?
He was so nice. He was such a great guy.
Bro, he's the emperor of the universe now. Come on, man.
It was awesome.
Oh yeah, back to powers. I like
Oh,
this
yeah,
fucking
sorry.
podcast. We're like, okay, everyone buckle up. We just land in France. It's like, I thought we were going to Texas.
This is one of those podcasts, just kind of like Mighty Mouse. It's like we just realized, like, okay, instant friend.
Yeah,
we like
get
this guy.
along.
Yeah.
I like this.
Just kind of goes off the rails.
I apologize for that, but I like you guys, man.
Oh, thank you.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. It's a good family right here.
$5. $5.
I'm just laying in. If you would have like,
Bro, I wouldn't even charge you $5.
oh, thank you.
gotta
Just
kiss
say thank
Eli.
you for my service.
Oh, thank you for your service. That's why I really appreciate your service. $10 tongue, whatever.
Bro, it's so funny. We talked about this on a podcast previously. My father, when I was a child, he was very cheap, and we would go to a Mexican
My
restaurant.
God, this was your dead story.
Yeah, no, it actually is. I'm surprised Rick Garrett didn't write this fucking story that you're talking about for that movie. We would go to a Mexican restaurant, we would eat the chips and drink water, and then leave. And then we would go to Costco.
Wait, hold up. He didn't. He would wait until like he was like here. He's like we're still looking, and then you guys bounce without paying.
Yeah.
They didn't order anything.
Man.
But then we would
Chips and
go.
water are free.
We would go to Costco or Sam's Club, similar, and we would just do a little tour around and eat the samples for like an hour, and that's how my dad fed us during the summer. So it was like $5 a day, dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sweet. Maybe he did write. I gotta look who wrote that movie.
My father
Based on the
my
life
father
of-
wrote that. Absolutely.
Holy smack. That's exactly it. That's what the
Just realized he
whole
was
movie's
really cheap, and he actually had a lot of royalties from that movie.
God damn it, Dad. Where's my money?
That Mexican restaurant.
about. I was
knew
doing
you guys.
research, son.
What an asshole.
They knew who you were because you probably went there multiple times every time you come in.
Here they
3
come
times
again.
a week.
Yeah, so they're like, that dude never orders food. Stop bringing out chips.
They're like, oh, fuck, it's Cody's dad again.
He's, how does it feel?
Hey, I want the salsa stuff and water. And then they're gone again. Like, fuck, you got us again.
Wow. I'm just thinking like
Wow.
the deepest Georgia accent, like leaving like Lo siento.
Every time he's a villain. I love it.
Adios, amigos. God damn it, Dad. Wow. I know I'm only 7, but I understand what's happening right now.
I never knew this story. I never. That's good.
That is that's one way to go. I love it. All our parents had different poor people techniques to raise us.
Poor people techniques.
That's what I
There's
call
a
it.
t-shirt.
What's on the front?
That's like our consulting company, PPT.
PPT. Poor people techniques.
Poor people techniques.
That's a good shirt. We got to figure out what's on the front though.
Hey, I lived in a trailer park. I lived in a trailer park. I did.
too, buddy.
Yeah, I
You lived
loved
in a
it.
trailer park in Malibu. That had to have been like $1 million trailer.
You know what's so funny? No, it was tiny. It was a regular piece of shit trailer.
Still
but
$1 million
Like,
trip.
the lot is like $50,000 a year.
No. Listen to this. I swear to God, this happened yesterday. I was looking at my, you get your tons of emails come through. I looked at one, and somebody that I knew was a real estate agent. They're like listing in Paradise Cove, which is where I grew up. It's a trailer park. I clicked on it just to see what the hell this was. I shit you not, $3.7 million
For how much?
For
for a
prefab.
trailer park thing. Just one little single lot trailer.
Holy fuck.
$3.7 million.
For just the lot?
And the trailer.
Okay,
Which looks like a piece of shit trailer.
like a prefab.
Yeah, you just be
home,
like, take this one out, let's put another one in. My sister lives in a trailer park. I love my
That's
sister.
insane, dude.
That's why you have in California these like little fucking lots that you have like 7 stories high.
Well,
Because the fucking lot itself is like $2 million.
But they won't let you go past 28 feet, like with my old house. 28 feet was it. That's the limit. Get in front of somebody else's view. My sister lives in a trailer park now, but it's right over the ocean. It's right there. It's gorgeous and blah, blah, but it's a fucking trailer.
It's probably expensive.
Worth $2 million.
I'm going to say it's not cheap. Well, if one sold for 3 point...
And I love the trailer park
3.7.
names. They're always my favorite. What was yours?
Paradise Cove.
And then we had Imperial States in Crawfordsville.
Imperial
Imperial
States?
Dude, Imperial States, you have like the nicest. If you just write it, you're like, oh, we must go visit there. Oh my God.
Fort Bragg, like last time I remember walking around a trailer park because I did real estate there for a while. I remember like it was like fucking, I don't remember, like Mystical Forest or whatever the fuck is the name. And it's like legitimately like single wides, and there was just like a dude walking around without a shirt with a shotgun.
Mythical Forest.
Mythical Forest. Damn right. Holy
Where's the
crap.
elves at? Man, get them fucking elves off my property. Oh, he hates
It was
elves.
right after a hurricane, and like a former business partner of mine was like, "Hey, can you mind checking up on my brother? He lives like here." Just like these dudes walking around, no shirt, shotgun, whatever. I'm like, I'm sure he's fine. I'm leaving.
He's going to be okay.
Babe, what was
good.
this trailer park called?
Indian Creek.
That sounds like a trailer park. Indian Creek Park. That just sounds like yeah, I can see that.
Paradise Cove was mine. My sister lives in the Point Doom Club.
Point Doom?
Yeah, Point Doom is sort of that.
Wait,
have you ever
are
seen
we saying
Malibu?
Dune or
Doom?
Doom?
D-U-M-E. I know I have a head cold.
Like hard
Doom.
Doom.
But it's D-U-M-E. Like
That also
like,
sounds like a trailer.
yeah, it is. But
We're going to hell.
But
We're going to Mount Doom.
Yes, it's Point Doom. D-U-M-E. No Doom. But it's that's $3 million. There's not unheard of for one with a view. The view is incredible, but trailer park.
At least I got Eve, dude.
Dude, a trailer and you're just like, pay $3 million for this fucking thing? You're like, what? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, that's the problem. That's what California has. There's that huge disparity between the uber rich and then everybody else just trying to make it and get through. And that's why they have
like, struggle.
40% of the country's homelessness are in California. And they got all these damn these.
That's not true. Every time I see the Olympics there, they're off the street.
Or when the foreign leaders come, the Chinese
exactly.
come to visit San Francisco, that shit is clean as can be.
Pretty clean.
In a day.
It reminds me of what they used to do with what fucking Soviet leaders when they brought in American diplomats. Just like clean up all the streets, clean up all the bread lines.
Have them come through. Don't go inside the store. Just look at the outside. Like everything there. Everything there. Do it for me. You did better.
Is everything in there? Do not look in the store, okay? It's very close right now. Past hour, no one there, okay? Oh my
You do
God,
it way
look how
better than I do.
beautiful it is. Though.
That's it. Okay, keep moving.
The
Keep moving.
sunrise, okay, you know.
It is
so happy.
Godzilla here.
Yeah, people smiling every smile. Like Jesus Christ. Just like
100% it.
when Cody started his crazy business of podcasting, you know what he didn't think about? Merchandise. But now he's selling what?
Merch.
And it couldn't be easier.
All because of Shopify.
If you've shopped on bunkerbranding.com, you've used Shopify.
Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business.
From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders? ! Shopify's there to help you grow.
From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS, that means point of sale, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered.
Once you start selling, Shopify makes getting paid simple by instantly accepting every type of payment.
Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers using the internet's best converting checkout, up to 36% better compared to other leading commerce platforms.
And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic.
Your AI-powered all-star.
Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the United States. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen.
My favorite companies.
What is that?
No clue, but they also power millions of other entrepreneurs across 175 countries.
Because businesses that grow with Shopify.
Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/unsubpod. All lowercase.
Go to shopify.com/unsubpod now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in.
Go to shopify.com/unsubpod.
Was it who's in North Korea right now?
Kim Jong-un.
No, but
Dennis Rodman. Sorry.
Is he still?
I thought it was a
Russian
quiz. I
president.
didn't know.
Why
I was just
can't I-
trying to-
Vladimir Putin?
Vladimir Putin.
Putin's in North Korea right
He's not
now.
the president. He is the
Owner.
prime minister. Yes.
He's the owner of Russia. I think. Let's be honest. He's the
Yeah,
king.
he is. Oh, yeah.
He's in.
Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world.
Is he?
Depends on if you count acquired property.
Yeah.
But he is in Russia right now, which is the weirdest fucking shit. Seeing those
Wait,
photos.
the North Korean is in Russia or Putin's in North Korea?
Putin's actually been seen, and he's in North Korea. They're doing
Wow.
a diplomatic. He's meeting with them because.
Here, the Wi-Fi there is shit.
Did you read the story that one dude crushing it?
Fucking close as could be. That was really close.
Dude's most surreal photos because it's.
I saw that this morning, yeah.
They're just
doing it
driving.
on the SUV.
And yes, but there's no one on the fucking road because no one has vehicles in North Korea. So it is. I was like just putting my myself being a Russian president going. First off, it's a weird mindset to even be in. And then you're like, I'm just going to hang out with Kim Jong-un right now.
I mean, my
fucking
favorite
weird.
part is that it is absolutely impossible to not be spied on by foreign powers in that situation because you are literally the only blip on the entire goddamn map of North Korea that can be seen from
This
space.
one.
It's literally the only light on the fucking
Literally. And then they did. Did you see that one dude crashed he took down North Korea's entire internet system? One dude for a week. He crashed the entire internet platform.
Where was he from?
America. He
Oh, it was
just did,
America?
like
One
he
of our
just
guys?
talked about it,
I think
but
I'll
he
do
was
it.
like, yeah, he's a hacker. I think, he's American.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we've done that with a USB before, so like it's not that difficult.
Dude, his story's fucking hilarious because he was like, yeah, he was just pinging North Korea, and I seen it. They would just ping from one router the entire time, or two routers. He was like, huh.
The country would.
Yeah, he was like, two routers. That can't be. For reference, most countries have is 40 million or something like that. So he was like,
I'm gonna go with these guys.
he was like, I'll just pay $5,000 to flum with this certain type of hacker shit to crash the system. And sure, he was like, yeah, it brought the entire fucking thing down for a week. Because when he went to check on the router after doing the attack, it just came back dead. Yeah, error. He's like, oh, I just shut down all of North Korea's internet. Holy crap. And he's like, it could have been done for $2,500. It's like the first thing he said. I could have done half the price and would have crashed the entire server.
Meanwhile, like you got somebody in the DOD
Yeah.
who's just like looking at like all their servers going down because we've been monitoring that shit from the inside for 2 decades now. They're just like, all right, who did it?
Who did it?
That's what everyone started saying. They're like, God damn it, you dickhead. Everyone probably knew that they only had 2 routers and it was easy to monitor. Now they're going to up their security.
Up their game.
It's like, we're going to crash it. Okay, back to the superpower.
No, that's pretty awesome. By the way, they were like, in North Korea, there were like 7 people going, I don't have internet.
Yeah, I know.
You either? No, I was 7.
Nobody else right now.
Nobody else knew. I don't think they can access it very well.
So
For
what
everyday citizen.
What superpower would you want? You are allowed to say the Superman superpowers.
Good. I'll say the Superman superpowers, but I don't know what my.
We get to choose your offset.
Oh, good. But then it's
Yeah.
done. I'll take the Superman superpowers. The offset's going to suck. There's just too much power.
He's got all the powers. We're going to give him the special gift of all the powers.
Yeah, he is Superman.
Okay.
He's the first. He's literally a DC.
I did get to
feat.
play all those powers.
Yeah, you heated
Which,
up
by the
super-
way, is just when you're shooting that and like kids are there and you have to jump off of a couple apple boxes and land to come into a scene. They're all, first of all, they show up and they walk in and they're like, oh my God, it's Superman. You're like, hello, kids, I'm not talking to you.
I instantly pictured it in my head. I hated it so much.
And then the camera's there and I have to jump in off of something to land. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here to blah, blah. And the kids are like, and then I fly out by whipping the cape up in the air and everybody goes, and I'm still there. I'm hiding over in the corner. And the kids are like, dang. It's a little, it gets a bit humbling. It gets a bit humbling when the kids see
Movie
it.
magic's a great thing.
And the cold breath of the eyes, you're just going like this. And nothing's happening. People are like, And then something blows up, and they're like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty cool." Yeah, you look really stupid as an actor. Sometimes you have to kiss men. Did I say that?
I was gonna say that. You're gonna hate me for it, but that's your offset. You have to kiss a man before you activate any of the powers.
Stop. Okay, fine. Let's go. Let's go.
Time to fly out of here.
Let's go. I'm going. That's not an offset.
It's a solid 5-second kiss. It's a strong kiss if he wants to activate them powers.
Oh no!
Or he can only use his superpowers if he's touching another man's dick.
We've already done that. Who was it? It was the elastic.
It was Laura
Lodge.
Yeah, Laura Lodge.
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
I like a solid 5 minute, and then you have a 5-second kiss, tongue and all, and then you get a 5-minute power up.
I might be kissing a lot of dudes for that. That saves a lot. Got to just put that by the wayside.
I would use
The
that
American.
power a lot. I'm like, this is a great offset.
The American.
I'd be based out of West
Hey.
Hollywood, though. I'd have to be based out of West Hollywood. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to kiss that many. It'd be a little tougher.
We're gonna
Or
test
San Francisco.
We're gonna test a theory. I'm gonna kiss you for 10 seconds and see if it lasts for 10 minutes.
I'm thinking
Didn't
of,
work.
like-
Let's test it again.
I'm thinking of the Mad Max version of your superhero where you just have a twink in a cage.
It's on his back. He just flies with him on his back. Get out here. Oh. It's like, no. No, Daddy, no.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Mr. Connor got the drink for Mr. Herrera.
That's pretty good.
Oh, thank you, Miss Hall.
You have the Superman superpowers, but they don't work on Earth.
Holy crap. I wouldn't be able to do a whole lot here.
You got to kiss men on Mars.
The most
Elon.
powerful
It's gonna be Elon.
most powerful man in the universe. As long as you aren't here, then you're just a normal guy.
He has to stay outside the ozone layer. He just misses.
Unless
He's like, I hope these lasers work.
they're like,
Oh god, I have a more racist version of that. You're the most powerful man in the universe, but your powers only work in non-America.
in non-America.
or only
Yeah.
against
You just-
minorities. He's just
Oh
hated.
god.
His powers only work against minorities, so he just looks terrible no matter what. It's like fuck.
You can be a
He never attacked
superhero.
white people.
You can be a superhero in Canada, but like
Nobody cares. There goes the
You
coffee.
land, you just see white people, you fly away. You just look terrible no matter what. You're like, Jesus,
Wow.
Superman is terrible.
He lands in Las Vegas during that shooting, the country concert. He's just like, fuck, I can't do anything.
Oh my god! And I live in Las Vegas now. That'd be awful.
Dean Cain here.
I like that twink in the cage. Whatever. I don't want to get serious about it, but I mean, if I can choose, it's the twink in the cage.
Twink in the cage.
Now, what's my,
But I do want one of those Mad Max cars.
I just want the twink in the cage.
I just want I want the twink in the cage.
Yeah, what's my super? Yeah, I want the twink in the cage. What's my offset? What's your power? I told you.
I told you.
I want the twink in the cage. Dean Cain 2024.
Lois and Clark and the twink in the back.
In Mad Max, they call him my blood bag. Give me my blood bag.
yeah.
But for him, it's like, give me my comeback.
Oh no.
Oh,
That line. That line hits
there.
different.
Just jump right over the edge.
I didn't realize. Jesus fucking Christ. The whole blood bag thing. Have you read the lore on that entire? That is a whole lore
I know nothing
system.
about that.
Yeah, dude, Mad Max has an entire lore system from, Mel Gibson's.
That was amazing back in the day.
Oh, dude. And the new one, even the who's on Anya? Babe, what is it? That's the new one.
That's the girl who Furiosa.
Mm-hmm. And that it did.
I haven't seen it yet, but
It's actually really good. Like it's a
Really?
good ass, just violent. There's
I love it,
just violent.
and it's cinematic as hell.
Not as good as what's it called? The
Fury Road.
Fury Road is perfection. Well, it's really fucking good.
With
not
Tom
perfection.
Hardy, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a second to talk about Tom Hardy.
All right, let's talk about Tom Hardy.
That's a bad motherfucker right there.
He's cool as
Yeah, that's just a bad man out there, just rocking people, just in jiu-jitsu
BJJ.
tournaments, doesn't give a shit. My son's a BJJ guy, so, and I can strike out of my son, but when he gets a piece of me, I hate it. I
He
can't
just holds
do it.
on and-
yeah, and I'm old and I'm fat and out of shape, and he just starts getting on me, and I can throw him around for like 3 minutes, and then he just starts going, and he's just moving everything all the time, and I'm like, all right, I'm tired, it's over, and he's like, you can't do that, Dad. I'm like, yeah, I can. I'm Dad. I'm fucking tired. and it's over because in a minute he's going to have me in a choke, and I don't like it. But Hardy is an animal, man. That guy, dude, I believe everything he says because you see him do this in real life. So when he says, when he gives you that look or something's going to happen, you're like, this motherfucker can hurt you.
I think he just got his purple belt. I think.
Damn.
He's
he's moving up there, dude. He's moving quick too.
Damn.
Who's this?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Oh, yeah.
When you have a lot of money at your dispense.
But you got to have
dedication to the craft.
Also, as an athlete, you got to have mean in you. He's got mean in him. He's got it in there.
You see it.
You see it.
When we had Demetrius Johnson, like one of the kindest, amazing human, also absolutely
Mighty
terrifying.
Mouse, they call him that?
Yeah, Mighty Mouse.
Mouse.
Just when he's talking about fighting at his age, because
How old is he?
he's 38. He's 1 year younger than me, which is absolutely like he is aging way better than all of us. Way better.
Black and don't crack.
Yeah, as he
Quoted
said.
Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah.
Also, a yellow stays a mellow for me.
Because he's
It's
going
clearly working for both of you. Fucking hell.
he's going into another fight soon.
There we go, Charlie. Is he fighting again?
He still
He's
fights.
about to do another professional fight.
Oh, he's doing because he's doing his his jiu-jitsu tournaments.
What organization?
That one, he still fights for one, I think is what it's called. But then also he does the open jiu-jitsu. This is open, so there's no weight classes on some of them, which is fucking ridiculous. And when you hear him talk about fighting he fights at 135 to 155, and he's like, oh no, I still got my movement. And you see him, he's in fucking phenomenal shape. It clicks when he wants to shoot guns. When we took him shooting, homeboy got like mechanics down.
Dude,
Frighteningly fast.
He went from he's a gun guy, but he's not like a gun guy. But he went from like very casual shooting to locked in, hitting everything with every shot very quick. Like he just took instruction very well.
There's a mindset to that kind of an athlete, a Michael Jordan, a Demetrius Johnson. There's something about you click it in, it goes. One of my fellow officers in Pocatello, Idaho, is a gentleman named Hoist Gracie.
Hoist is a well-known name.
Yeah. He's a very good shooter too. So he's also, speaks English, but his first language is Portuguese, and he's from Brazil. And so we were doing our qualifications together, and I'm assistant gunner for him. He's my assistant. We go back and forth, but we're warming up. We're getting ready. We're sort of shooting targets, doing things since the range master's talking about the different things we have to shoot. And we had to shoot these little circles here. So we're going to the top circles, and as we're warming up, and he shot at a different circle because he clearly didn't understand, and I thought I was being funny, and I was like, I go, Hoist, man, either you hit everything inside that black and I can't even see the hole, or you shot the wrong circle. He's like, what? I was like, oh fuck, the joke didn't hit at all. I was like, I go, maybe I think you shot the wrong circle, and he's like, what? Which one are we supposed to shoot? He's like, the top right. He's like, oh. So we go through. He qualifies. He hits 100%. And I was like, well, fuck, there you go. Then he goes, it's because you challenged me. I was like, I didn't challenge you, man. I was just teasing. I was trying to make a joke.
You want to fight?
Yeah. I don't want to fight. No. I was like, holy shit.
No one wants to fight you, man.
Those fighters, dude. Fighters are fighters.
But do you remember Hoist back in the day when they was
a
fighting?
monster. There was Pride.
Forget Pride, the first UFC.
Oh, yeah,
there was
dude.
no weight classes, man. They were just,
OG UFC was fucking ridiculous.
it was just, there you go, in a cage and go.
The boxer shows up with one glove on his hand, and so he could grab
was-
and punch.
There was
Literally,
this
he had
crazy
one
shit.
boxing glove. He's like, yeah,
I got you for 3 minutes.
yeah, and yeah, very much white trash. They're like what? Tank Abbott.
Oh my God.
Just lived in a trailer park.
Fucking Ken Shamrock, dude.
Yeah.
Just voided out of his mind. His traps touched his, I don't know, his
The top of his ears.
Up here.
Yeah.
He wore his hat on his traps.
Dude, those guys are fucking.
And
then-
Hoist won it though.
Yeah,
he won that first
multiple
one.
years.
Yeah, first one. But he is so gnarly and he is so dialed in. You get that you see it click. You're like, shh, whoop, oh, okay, there it goes. And I didn't challenge him. It's like Michael Jordan. He wants you to do something that. What, did you just look at me funny? You looked at me funny. That's why I want to do it. And you're like, I didn't. I just looked over at you. They make you an enemy for something. I'm like, I didn't fucking challenge you, Hoist. Jeez.
What's Sean Strickland? That's the one
Yeah,
we
Strickland's
would
bad
love.
motherfucker.
Strickland
I want
love
Sean
on,
on the
but also
podcast.
he's one that's just when you read or see his stuff, it's like he loves fighting, he loves violence, and that one I'm like, I'm not even gonna joke about fighting.
No. No, he's a genuinely crazy person, but I love him, and I love following him on Twitter is fucking incredible.
Oh yeah,
excuse me, X.
X.
He's
Elon's
fucking
platform. We
awesome.
want to make sure. I don't follow him on X, and I know
You're
filter.
missing out. He's
Yeah.
fucking hysterical.
There is no filter on. That is a dude.
Good.
That is a human that was built with zero
But see,
filter.
that's a good thing. It is. Listen, it is.
There's a line of
I
filter.
enjoy it.
Oh, I love it. It's a great thing. I'm like, there's that.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, he is very.
You know who he is. You don't wonder.
It's fucking hilarious to watch unfold a lot of the time. I'm like, dude,
I'm
this
not going to
dude
say I
don't
agree
give
with.
a.
You don't have to agree,
fuck.
but
Oh no, like he doesn't give a. We got that. It's not to get canceled. It's just like repercussions for what you say sometimes, and we'll all filter ourselves to a degree where you're like,
Sure.
But you can also get to a level where you have said so much outlandish shit that it's
good
really
technique.
hard.
It's a good technique.
Yeah.
he's
Put it
doing
out there.
really good.
You've
at that.
thrown out so much out there, everybody's just like, yeah, well, that's Sean. Which is where he's at. That
yeah.
whole how do you say work harder, child? Like that whole interview.
I didn't see it.
You've not seen?
No, I
Oh
haven't
my
seen it.
god,
What-
he's talking to. There's I believe it's a Chinese interviewer is talking to him,
fuck.
and he's just like,
even you were like, so you're like, no, there's stop. You're like, it's fine, it's fine, and now you're like, holy shit. Like,
Oh wait.
it's a Chinese
shit.
interviewer. It's like, can you say, blah blah, which is basically just like hello or whatever the fuck. He was like, well, what am I saying? Before you say that, like, what am I saying? All right, cool. I'll say that, but can you tell me? I'm thinking about starting a merch brand that is obviously it's gonna be like a fucking sweatshop in China. Can you say work harder, child? No food till you finish. Like, how do you say that?
Shit. Hey, but there's a German truth in that, isn't there? I mean,
That's why
is
it's
there
so
not?
fucking funny.
That's what makes it so funny. Holy shit! And
At
it
least
should-
he acknowledges it.
It's funny. Comedy's supposed to offend, man. Comedy
Yep.
is supposed to hurt a little bit. It's supposed to get you.
crazy concept having just comedy.
Look
is
what Gervais
comedy.
did at the freaking Golden Globes again. Goes back. And
Dude,
they-
I think we're on that tick, but we've talked about it a few times where we're
back and
swinging
forth.
back.
The
where it's
pendulum is coming
yeah,
back.
dude. You get Shane Gillis. Everyone's starting to say gay again, saying
We
retard.
finally got
like,
retard back, dude. Oh, that was a-
Retard, like we firmly planted that back.
Yeah. Eli, have you heard about RAYCON's everyday E25 earbuds? Eli! You must have had the noise cancellation on.
I did.
I couldn't hear anything. Just like I wish I couldn't feel anything.
Oh, you mean these ones? Yeah. And I also thought, whoa, those are the same audio quality as the big guys, but for half the price. But if you haven't pulled the trigger on these little guys, do it.
Plus, they have a 32-hour battery life, meaning your days of raw dogging flights are over. And 10 minutes of charging yields you 90 minutes of battery.
Wait, it has a quick charge function?
That's what I just said.
Also, RAYCON just launched their updated models of the everyday earbuds. Weatherproof and or sweat resistant. I actually use these over anything else just because they're tiny every freaking gym session.
I use mine for everyday chores.
Like,
Ignoring the SWAT team at my door.
their upgraded model will blow you away.
You're going to be asking yourself why you didn't check them out sooner.
RAYCON offers a 30-day happiness guarantee. So what are you waiting for?
Call to action.
Go to buyraycon.com/unsub to get 15% off of your order plus free shipping.
That's right. You'll get 15% off and free shipping over at buyraycon.com/unsub. What was the last season of Lois and Clark? It was season. How many seasons did it
we
go
did
for?
4.
4? Okay.
It was 1997.
Okay. So those were like the. Did you know it was coming to a conclusion?
No, we
at the
were
time?
picked up for season 4. We were season 5. We were going to do the season, but in the hiatus, Terry Hatcher she was pregnant, and it became a very complicated pregnancy, and she was going to be on her back, basically bedridden, and so we couldn't shoot. I was like,
Lois has cancer. I was like, right then, and you're like,
I said, let's write it into the show. Let's make it. We'll put her in we'll shoot a lot of her stuff early. We'll just sort of bank as much as we can with her, and just sort of make it up. How does this work between a Kryptonian and a human? Blah blah.
Which is
I
crazy.
pushed
Like
for it.
nowadays would all be AI.
Oh God,
Just
you're walking around not even pregnant.
deep fake.
Yeah,
fucking
everything.
Like that's so much simpler nowadays. Back then, that's a real fucking problem.
That was a real
and that's
problem.
film. You filmed on film.
Film.
Yeah, which is crazy because that is, hey, action. Nail your fucking line because we're not just doing like line.
You can't do that. We never did that.
No, God, no.
Never.
Burning film.
Oh yeah, and you you were the second you wanted quick sticks to get it going because you only had so much film. And if it was a longer take, the whole magazine is there. So it was a whole thing. Sometimes you get it already and we go, and all of a sudden the mag would be like, they're like, all right. And the guys are smacking it on the outside. Pap. If it doesn't work, then they're like, all right, change the mag. We're down for 5-10 minutes every single time.
Were you doing everything?
It's fucking crazy.
Dude, I forgot.
Constantly.
So she was down, and you were arguing like, why don't we just shoot the season like this?
I
was
ready to do it because I was prepared for season 5. I knew it's too much. It really is too much for like to have any work-life balance or anything like that. Doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. So I'm single though. I got nothing. I got a couple dogs at home running around. They're running around without me, all day long. But I would leave, and minimum 18 hours later, I'd be home. And my mom's like, honey, you're doing this. It's like when we see you. This is how my mom talks. When we see you, you're so quick. And I go, Ma, I got 15 minutes. I got like 15 minutes here. If I don't do this, I can't flip the weekend around, and I can't get up. Oh, and I was like, it's a pain in the ass. But everyone, if they wanted to see me, had to come to set. You never saw me anywhere else. I was never anywhere else.
I hope my mom is listening to this part right now.
This is part of the deal, Mom. That's what makes it a pain in the ass, and it's too much. So I won't do a series. So what happened is my son was born in 2000. I'm a single dad, and his mom and I fought over custody because she wanted to go back to that's a whole nother show.
That is canned.
That is
We'll put canned here.
I will do that. I want my lawyer here, and I want we ended up in a really nasty custody battle and so on and so forth. But that changed everything for me because now I got a kid, and again being adopted, I knew that if my dad wasn't around, I look at all the hardest points in time in my life. My dad was always there. Like my dad's my hero. I mean, there's no question. My dad's 80 years old now. He's just awesome. And it's funny because he's 5. I don't know, what is he now? 5'7", Dad. He was 5'9". You get smaller. He's 80 years old, and but my dad's a stud. He's a cowboy. Like I said, he directed Young Guns. That was Then, This Is Now. The Principal. All these different.
What was
things.
his name again?
Christopher Cain. Still is.
Christopher Cain. Okay.
Damn it.
No,
I'm kidding. He's still here.
Not that he's dead. I'm just.
No, that's my son's name too. So I named my
Brandon's
son.
like, God rest his soul.
Brandon's
too. I saw him.
I just saw him yesterday. I'm gonna call
that was
him.
the Young Guns was one of the movies that like my dad made me sit down and watch as a kid.
Young
He's
Guns
like,
is a
you are
badass
gonna
movie.
fucking watch this movie, and I'm glad he did. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. But I remember the day I'd come back from college. My dad'd be like, read this script, tell me what you think. He was always trying to make me a writer, and I wrote episodes of Lois Clark. I've written 40 scripts. I've tons, and I love it. And early on in my career, playing Superman, my dad even said, he goes, you can act for the rest of your life. You'll never be as good an actor as you are a writer right now. I was like, so I should stop acting? What do you? I don't know. He's like, because I suck.
What kind of riddle is this,
I don't know
man?
what this means. It's hard to make money as a writer though, because selling them and doing the things is a pain in the ass. So, but what was my point? Oh, so he'd give me these scripts and be like, read this, tell me this. And I would read the script. And because all these kids I grew up with, he's like, you think Emilio can play Billy the Kid? And I was like, yeah. And this script for sure. I remember he was just like, okay. But then I go back to school, fucking Emilio's playing Billy the Kid. I was like, oh, wow. And then he'd be doing these things while it was going on, and it was fun. But I thought everybody's dad did that because I didn't know any better. I had never been out of Malibu.
It's like John or any of our kids. Like they're just like, bruh.
And the book that John's gonna write.
Oh, we haven't told Dean about the 7 retarded uncles.
What? Like the 7 Samurai?
Yeah. So my son,
Kind of
way less cool.
Yeah, we don't save a town.
All right.
No, my son's 15 years old now, and I've raised him pretty much by myself. Like I've had full custody since he was 2 years old.
Wow.
And so he's grown up around like me, Brandon, Eli, like our friend group.
So he's retarded?
No, he's gonna write.
Just kidding.
Yes, actually,
It was right there.
It's so easy.
that was for you, John.
Oh, he's retarded.
But we talked.
You're coming back on the podcast, man.
I'm not leaving. We're staying here.
We talked about he's going to write a tell-all book one day called "My 7 Retarded Uncles,"
Shit.
where he just talked about the shit that he grew up on. It's like, here's what they did today.
That's
Here's what
pretty much
they
the
did
best book
yesterday.
ever, though. That's the best.
It's going to be a
ever.
tell-all. We just got to make sure that we've all made our money before that, because when that book comes out, we're fucked.
On the pendulum will have swung all the way the other way.
I was just
Because-
like fucking you, Superman landing, seeing John, you're like, you're retarded and flying.
Superman lands,
Help me.
calls him retarded, kisses the twink on his back, and flies away.
Otherwise, he couldn't fly away. We know that. You gotta,
John's just confused. What the fuck, man? John's getting robbed.
Do you understand why I didn't win now?
No, absolutely not.
confused.
I think you should. I think, and you still might.
As it turns out, plenty of people still clutch their pearls pretending like men don't talk like this.
It's so stupid. That's so stupid. Everybody talks like this. Like I said, if you heard my best friends and I talking to each other, you'd think we hated each other. One's Iranian, one's black. I'm Japanese. I mean, I never met my biological father, right? So my friends will literally be sitting around having something to eat, whatever, and some Asian dude walks by and it's like, dude, is that your dad? And I'm like, he's Chinese. My dad was Japanese. He's like, that's the same thing, right? I'm like, no, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. But
Not if Nan King has something to say about it.
Ooh, now we're talking history. I know very well. No, Nan King was rough.
Yeah, I think that was the definition of rough.
I wasn't there.
I would hope.
You can't prove anything. In the middle of it, you see. Now you're pulling me into this fucking lore. I was in the middle of the whole like old Nan King picture. And there's just Superman with a little twink on his back. That's jacked up.
I'm out of here.
I've been.
That's the part that's jacked up. Yeah, okay.
Superman flying away is the problem.
That's the line. Okay.
That whole thing. That's it. Oh, hi. But I love that you're a single father. As being a single father, my son I've had full custody of since he was 9. He's my best friend. He's my favorite person in the world. Like I love it, but he's not the same as me. We're similar. I love team sports. He likes individual sports.
Like what?
He likes fighting. He likes jiu-jitsu,
fuck yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that. He plays piano.
Dude, bring him down here, man.
Oh, he'd love it. The last time he fought though, he didn't. Now he's 6'2", 6'3".
Oh, he's
like
a big boy.
215, I think now he is, and he's just. Last time I remember, like he talked about his height
Eli's
and
like,
weight.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, well, fighting, you're like, okay, well, how big are you fighting? Okay, you're in the 215, you're heavyweight. You're fighting the big boys that hit really hard.
But he
now.
wasn't, when he was doing the jiu-jitsu tournaments, I remember him being, 17 instead of 24, and he was maybe like 174. Now he's 215. He's 24 now.
God, he's 4 years younger than Brandon.
Wild thought. Thanks, Eli, for making me feel like an infant.
Child.
Hold him, yes.
Kiss him.
I don't want to be the twink on your back, dude.
I almost flew out of here. I almost got there.
Climb on my back, Brandon. Take Daddy's
I was this
back.
close.
Oh, this close. Damn it.
Papa.
Time to end the podcast.
Have we gone completely off the rails?
Yeah,
We always
pretty
do
much.
that.
But
There was a
that's
yes and a no. There was yeah. No, okay.
to be expected.
This is
to
the
be
norm.
honest.
Yeah, we fucking we get there. What kind? So you're here for ComicCon. You have the San Antonio. I didn't even know.
It's a huge con, actually. There's I think Jake Gyllenhaal, all kinds of folks are like,
What?
there's a
So
bunch-
do you
I
enjoy?
think so.
Do you enjoy the Comic-Con stuff?
Is this on air? Is this live?
Oh fuck, we can take it out if you
I'm
want.
kidding. No, Comic Cons are really cool because especially when you're shooting a show like Lois and Clark, you go and you do this work and you're there, but you don't have any other life outside of it. You're there 15, 18, 20 hours. We shot 22 hours one day. On set, we're filmed for 22 hours. You're just burnt. There's nothing else. And people aren't there going, oh, I like the show. I love it, because you don't see anybody. And then the show airs, and this is the fledgling internet, so you kind of get some feedback, but there's no social media, there's none of that shit. So
The professional reviewers is all
you get that, and then you get your ratings, and that's what you really give a shit about because you stay on the air if you get the ratings. So you don't get any feedback. I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I started going to Comic-Cons. Guys like, you go to these Comic-Cons, and You mean like a Star Trek thing? They're like, no, you go for everything. Excuse me. And I was like, all right. And I met people who grew up watching the show, and then they would say, like, my dad and I would sit and watch this. I'd be able to stay up late on Sunday night and watch this before Monday school. It's only the show I could stay up late for. And I was having a bad relationship with my dad. And you get these stories about how the show affected people. You're like, holy shit, that's amazing. Because I do it with my son. I know the shows that we would watch. My son meets everybody famous in the world, politicians, world leaders, actors, people, he just could give a shit. He doesn't care at all. But then it's a show that he watched when he was growing up. And he's like, hey, I love that show. Oh, that's so-and-so. And I'm like, you like that show? You've never even watched my show. He's like, no, it's weird. It's weird watching you do it. I'm like, whatever. But I see how that affects him. We like Friday Night Lights, we'd watch all the time. And he loved that and thought Kyle Chandler was hysterical. He's like, he gets mad like you do. I was like, shut up and go to your room. But I'm like, so that was the thing. He would do that though. And then I was like, Kyle was in Pure Country that your grandfather directed and with George Strait.
Yeah.
My dad directed that as well.
That was one of like, all right, weird fucking moment. That was one of like 3 movies I had on my iPod Gen 3 or whatever it was. It was Pure Country with George Strait.
It's a good movie.
It's a great fucking movie.
I rewrote that damn script in 6 days. I was just going to say.
Me.
No.
The whole bit about like the difference between the white speck on the top of chicken shit.
That's my dad.
No
That's
shit.
his farmer humor. I call it farm wisdom. And the tree and the roots and the roots aren't. I'm like, geez, Dad, what are you getting at? He's like, just write it.
That's right. A small fucking world.
Yeah, but that's my dad. What was my point? I forget. Oh, my son grows up in this world with all this stuff going on. And
real quick, for those who didn't know, the white speck on the top of chicken shit is chicken shit too.
It's just this white speck. It's the same damn thing. It's just chicken shit.
Science.
So
I felt like I was leaving them hanging on that one.
They're waiting. I like how you hang them like that. It's interesting. My son grew up with all this folks around and stuff. But then we started like enjoying certain shows together. And he's like, "Oh, I love that guy. Whatever that show." And I'm like, "Oh, all right. Well," then he's like, and he'd be excited to meet that person. I'm like, "You never want to meet anybody. You don't care." But he does care when it's something that affected him. And we would stop Friday Night Lights and be like, you know why he's going through this right now? Because of blah, blah, blah. And just because your friend says that, and we'd go through like life rules and lessons and things. And when people tell me stuff like that about Lois and Clark, which started when I started going to ComicCons, it's awesome. It's you go, wow, I never thought you'd like to hope that would happen and someone be inspired by something. But when it happens, you're like, it's really humbling and it's a cool.
So people like come up to you in person, like after 17 Miller Lights, my dad would watch you on TV and think, I could beat anybody, including my wife.
No, I never got that one. Thank God. Thank God. No, he was, but it's a
My
great
son
thing.
thinks he's Superman. Oh God, Lois, no.
Daddy's fist is kryptonite.
I was always worried that was going to happen when I was out and about when you're playing Superman. Someone's like, they really think you. I mean, I got fan mail saying like, I need groceries, do this, that, blah. At the same time, you think somebody would be like, I'm going to shoot Superman and see if it bounces off him or whatever. It's something to be concerned about because people are a little.
Well, somebody reads Catcher in the Rye and decides to test you in public.
There it is.
Yeah,
it's 100% true. And so that was a fear for a long time, and then
That's crazy. That's a thing because that is.
Yeah. Well, you think you're.
It's still
imagine you're Demetrius Johnson and somebody knows you ain't so tough, man. You ain't so tough. What's he going to do? He's Demetrius Johnson. He can't just knock him out. He can.
Yeah.
Very much so. But if he does that.
People just being crazy. That's what's crazy about it. It is how especially the Superman thing, that'd be absolutely terrifying where it's like, oh, here's a gun.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Be a tough guy now.
Like, whoa, kiddo, hey, especially with the younger fan base.
Where's my twink? Come here.
Now shoot.
Now shoot.
Oh, he hit my twink.
Then I burn him like Homelander.
Yeah, Homeland that shit.
But it's a legitimate concern. But the thing about being a single dad is like I said, like my son is my favorite. Like I stopped. I wouldn't do a series. I wouldn't star in a series. I would do it if I was on an ensemble. I changed my whole career because I don't know what your situation was, but I got into a really very, very expensive custody battle. And in California, they have a thing. It's not called the California Equal Footing Law, but it is in effect. because I could afford any attorney, therefore so could she, and I have to pay for it. I mean, I remember spending $40,000 to audit my own books so they could find out how much cash I had on hand because they ordered it. That's how I did.
So
I had to pay
as
40
much
grand.
as you were spending on the battle, she could also spend from your pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What kind of fucked up shit is that?
California equal footing law.
Government.
Yeah, it was not set
Trout's
up.
smiling right now. He's so happy about this rule.
It was insane. Insane.
Same shit I've ever heard in my life.
I spent $1.5 million in legal fees to win joint custody of my son.
Because men were already at a massive advantage for custody battles.
Exactly. There was a thing they called the tender years clause, which wasn't supposed to come into effect, which is that the mother is breastfeeding for the first 18 months. You can't share custody because she's breastfeeding. Well, his mom stopped breastfeeding after 5 months. That's out. I'm there. She didn't want me to have. She was mad. Whatever. She's, hell hath no fury like a woman, right? That's
woman scorned. Yep.
A woman like a woman scorned. It's times 5. If it's a Latina.
You
And she was a
specifically
Latina.
left out the scorned part.
I couldn't get there.
Like a woman.
It's the White Claw. It's just women in general. No, I'm kidding. I'm not bitter. It was a awful thing though, because I also knew there's no way I couldn't be in this kid's life because of what I went through. I remember the time. I remember we're almost leaving Princeton, just going, "This is bullshit. I don't want to play here."
Yeah.
I'll go take a full ride at UCLA, which I work out with. I'm out there with Troy Aikman and Flipper Anderson. These guys running around, and these are great players. And I'm like, and Ken Norton Jr. And I'm like, I should fucking play here. They treat these guys with huge respect, and they're loved and blah blah. And I'm in Southern California. The weather's great. I'm at Princeton. The weather sucks. And my Soviet politics professor called me a Neanderthal because I'm a football player. I was like, this is stupid. I'm sick of this crap. I'm just gonna go back. And my dad's like, slow down, big boy. He's like, whoa, kiss the twink and relax. I was like, I'm sorry,
Next shirt.
Kiss the twink and relax.
But my dad would
That
give
on
me
the front. It's a twink on the back.
He would give me the farm advice. The same thing about the speck of white and still chicken shit. We'd go through that stuff, and
Meanwhile, this is literally like the new Man of Steel kind of shit. Like growing up on a Midwest farm, like your father's just like fucking like trying to get you to relax a bit.
100%, and he did, and I just knew how. There's time, we all have those moments where you're about to go off the rails or something. You're about to do something really stupid. You get close, and your dad probably sees it and your behavior and the things you do. Like, listen, buddy, you're going down the wrong road. You better clean your shit up. I remember he had other ways of doing it too. Weren't so subtle. It was the 4th of July, and my buddy and I went over to the principal of our high school's daughter's house. The principal wasn't there, but the daughters were all there. We stayed up there a little bit too late. And we had a couple drinks, and we were underage. And my curfew was 10 o'clock, and it was 11:30. And we were coming down the street. We had a really long driveway that went down to the top, all the way down to the bottom of to where the house was. And we're laughing because I got a long way to go for the house, and we're late. All right, I'm going to get yelled at. They're having a party, and maybe they won't even notice. And we get up to the top, and there's my dad standing at the top of the driveway. And I was like, oh, fuck. And he's like, get your ass down here. He goes, that's exactly what I threw. And he goes, get your ass downstairs. And I was like, oh, whatever. And my buddy's idiot. He shouldn't have spoken. He's like, we only had one beer. My dad's like, shut up, get your ass down. I was like, oh God, don't do it. And then my dad, we walked by my dad. That's where he wanted us to go. And then every third step, he would kick me in the ass. Poof. Poof. And he would that was it. That was what I got going down there from. That was not such subtle advice, but he was so pissed off. And then my Uncle Mark was inside the house, my mom's little brother. And when I walked by, he did exactly that. He was like, and my dad kept kicking me in the ass all the way into my room. Just kept kicking me in the ass. I got the message. Don't break curfew and don't drink with the principal's daughters when you're underage. Ding. You got to get it through your thick head. But he was there for everything, all the time, all the hardest times. It's that footprints in the sand thing. You've heard that about, God, why have you forsaken me? And the hardest points in my life, I look down. You said you'd be walking next to me. I look at the hardest points, and there's just one set of footprints. And that's when God said, that's when I was carrying you. And that's the thing is, my dad did that over and over and over. So there's no way I wasn't going to do that for my son.
Yeah.
And he's had things happen that I would have never expected, and things that if I didn't have that built into me, I wouldn't have been there. So doing it as a single father, huge respect. It's a very difficult thing.
John turned out dope. Cody did a fantastic job.
Well, here's to
John's
you.
such a good
Raising
fucking
people.
kid.
Dude, it's crazy
And his
seeing
7
like that
retarded
level.
uncles.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing how good John is, how well behaved, because it is an undertaking, and then it's like you see this kid's just well behaved, smart. You're like, fuck, dude.
Not only is he well behaved and smart, he's also like his sense of humor is unfortunately honed by us. So that kid's he's gonna be like me, where like he makes a lot of jokes in high school that don't go over well because they're not ready for it.
He's gonna,
Not in this day and age.
No.
Jeez.
it's crazy, but it's awesome because you just get to see like what a good dad can do, and you're like, hey, as it fucking should be.
Yep. But I've had, it was even through college. I was having, issues here. Then after college, and you're making that adjustment, he was there again. So it doesn't stop. It's not gonna stop. But and now it flips now. And I for the last 30 years, I've become the head of the family, and that's a weird transition.
You have to check yourself on what you're thinking, what you do. I think we discussed it the other day. It's any type of leadership role with fatherhood or whatever, where you have to doubt yourself. You're like, am I making the right decision? I have to question that. Okay. If you're a good one, you question those decisions, and then you're like, okay, it is the right one.
And sometimes you make a
Research and build
mistake.
it. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then you own that mistake. You're like, well, I fucked up.
I fucked up. I'm sorry. I didn't mean this or whatever. Maybe, like your voice gets a little too, too strong, and realize that the effect you can have on a child, and you're like, oh my gosh, I told you not to do that, and then you say it, and all of a sudden they start crying. You're like, wow, it took a lot. Like my son's an emotional guy, but it takes a lot to get him there for him to break out. When you do it, then you're like, shit, did I go a little too hard? We all have been there, and I know sometimes I've gone too hard, and then there's the guilt factor afterward. But I remember what my dad used to do when I get all that shit. First of all, back in the day. Remember that? You guys don't remember it. Of course you don't remember it. There was a show called Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. Wait till your father gets... No, nobody's going to sing it with me. Okay. It was a cartoon thing, but it was like she would say...
Yes,
like
Dean Cain, let's all sing together.
The kid would screw up, and then the mom would...
Follow the bouncing.
And the thing was, you wait till your father get home, and you'd get in trouble, and you'd get busted for the whole thing, and blah, blah, blah. But I remember, like, my dad would come back, and my dad did everything. Before he was a director, he was like doing anything to make things. He'll do anything to take care of the family. But when I got busted, it was the belt.
Yeah.
The belt would come off. He swears to this day he only hit me with the belt one time. He's a liar. I love you, Dad, but you lie. I know I got it a couple of times. My brother was 2 years older than me. He was like, one time I did something really stupid. I didn't realize I was doing whatever.
It's just like as a kid, we have rose-colored glasses. Like, oh yeah, no, my childhood was great. Like parents have the same thing. Like, I never hit you with you
did. The belt.
As a kid, you remember that shit.
I remember it was so much trouble. I was like, oh shit, this is a real one. And I go home. When I walk in, my brother's like, and then he goes, put on extra pairs of underwear. I swear it helps. I was like, oh, whatever. This is going to fucking suck. I didn't get the belt that day, by the way, thank God.
Father, you are not an honorable man.
That's that. And he was right. But it helps. It's the greatest thing in the world. I don't know. It's the best thing in the world. But kids don't realize that your parents aren't superhuman. They're just as stupid as you are and trying to figure this crap out. And my dad used to always, after something happened, though, he'd do it, whatever would happen. I'd get the discipline, whether it's a spanking or a belt or whatever it was. And 10, 15 minutes later, and I knew he was going to come back in. And then he explained to me why he did it and that he hated doing it and that, he loved me and da-da-da-da-da-da, and this is the deal, blah, blah. And so that was worth everything to me. So every time I've ever disciplined my son, I'm back in there.
It's the talk afterwards. You let him stew, and then you talk to him.
Yep, 100%. It's huge.
That even hurts to hear because you know for a fact it's the whole thing. Like you realize that your parents are just you, and then like that is a serious moment in growing up. You just realize, fuck, like especially I can only imagine because I'm just now coming into the role of like looking to be a parent, and then you start looking back on all these interactions. You're like, shit, that's a whole level deeper.
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh man, you'd think it's a short little word. But you just hold, I'll be there in 15 minutes. Then you just crushed somebody without even realizing that because you got 65 other things going on here, and you're trying to. Then you look back and you see your kid like in tears. You're like, what the fuck? What? You got to harden up. You're like, then you're like even worse. And you're like, what am I doing? I'm so sorry. I don't know. You have to. It never stops. It never stops. That's part of the circle. But
Deep. Everyone out there is like, damn, I need to be a better dad. Ryden's like, I do not care, father. I want to play video games. I'm going to go buy daddy. My son is very cut and dry, just autistic.
Is he autistic?
Like,
Oh yeah.
hey, hey, Ryden, I'll be home in 3 hours. 49 hours later. Oh, hey, Daddy, how are you?
I want to play video games now, daddy. Goodbye.
That's pretty straightforward.
Wow, dude, I had him.
You talk about your son like you need like a fucking hamster feeder and that's it. Like,
Ryden's just very straightforward on everything. I had him send a thank you message. We didn't play that. You'd be thankful because it's like I was like, hey, buddy,
did we not play that?
We did not the thank you message because I was like, hey, buddy, just I text baby mama and I was like, hey, can you just have Ryden send a thank you message? Just record it horizontal real quick, just saying thank you to everyone. So I showed Sav. Sav's like, oh my God, because Ryden's like, he's very good at some things. And then when you're telling him instructions on how to emote, it comes off like a serial killer. So Ryden's like, thank you, everyone. I really like the messages.
He just makes executive decision like, let's not put that.
Like, dude, it was the fastest. Like, we're good. I'll actually just play it for you guys because it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, God.
Like he's like, I don't.
Dean, why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
That looked like a laugh. Why are you laughing?
Like instantly, okay, I'm done. I'm fucking did it. Right, instantly, like I don't want to be here. I was like, that's it. Genuine emotion, Ryan fucking kills. Like if I'm just recording and we're doing something, I try to just so he doesn't even know the camera, he doesn't expect it. But if the fucking camera's on him and he's like, hello, Daddy, what are you doing? I'm like, stop it, stop looking at the camera like that.
I've seen actors do that. I've seen actors freeze up on because there's a lot of heat when you're stepping on to act on a huge set and a big thing.
Dude, especially back in the day when there was no, you didn't get a practice. Like everyone practices in front of the camera. We talk once a week. I mean, multiple times a week for you guys, and then like once a week for the podcast. But you get so comfortable in front of the camera when you're thrown into that shit, and you're like, hey, you got to know your lines
and say these lines, not what you want to say. Say these lines. Oh, I've seen people just. You're like, we're like. Ooh, okay, we're gonna slow it down. I mean, like, I'm stepping up against like Denzel Washington and things like that. But I knew what I was doing, but I was just like, shit, I don't. And he'll eat you up on screen. And he's my favorite actor of all time.
Dude, he's fucking
Denzel. Yeah.
Did you work with him on?
Yeah, I started opposite him on the movie called Out of Time, where I played the bad guy. And there's a scene where he's sleeping with my wife, and I've figured it out. And I meet up in a bar.
At least he didn't touch a twink.
He didn't know. He couldn't see the twink. The twink goes invisible.
Oh, I see.
But so I walk.
I'll have to rewatch that movie.
I come into the bar, and he's been sleeping with my wife, and I tell him I come in. I'm like, he's the chief of police too, in this little sleepy Florida town, and I'm like, I came back and I thought somebody was with her and blah blah, and he's like, oh really? And I'm like, yeah. And then the guys, I forget what the word was, squirted out there, scuttled out the back or whatever. When I got home, the little bitch scurried out the back door. He's like, oh, scurry, did he? And I'm like, yeah, because if I'd have come in there and seen him, I'd have fucking killed him. And he's like, really? No, as the chief of police, you can't. And then we're having this conversation where basically I'm saying, I know you're fucking my wife, and I'm going to kill you if you do it again. But I don't say those words. I say everything else. And he doesn't back down. So it was an awesome scene. It was actually my audition scene for the thing too. And Denzel had just won Best Actor for Training Day.
Oh, damn.
So on that day, you don't want to fuck it up. And I remember that night before I was trying to sleep. I was like, I'm going to sleep. I can't sleep. I gotta get some sleep.
You're running lines.
Oh my God.
I have to act in front of fucking Denzel Washington
with him because he will change things up. Because if he sees if you're like. It's like playing tennis with somebody who's better than you. Like you'll up your game. Or
so
you just
for
get
us,
crushed.
Playing tennis.
Oh.
Yeah,
we love tennis.
Yeah, anybody who's better than us. For us, it's playing tennis. Yeah.
Well, it was awesome. But if you're not saying to me like, what's the matter? You can't. You're all in your face, and I'd be like, So he made me much better by doing shit all the time, provoking it. And it's
making
very
you
cool
uncomfortable.
stuff.
It's like on the roll, almost directing
Yeah.
and making you act that and getting the response you wanted to talk.
It's unbelievable. So I was like, wow, this guy's he's as good as I thought he was, and better. And I would just shut my mouth and watch him and be respectful because it was incredible. But there's like this one point in time, he's like, at the end, he was like, whatever. Say hi. And my wife's name was Ann in the thing. And he's like, the line was something like, give Ann my best, whatever. He's like, well, give Ann my best if you can. And I was like, I just wanted to fucking kill him, at the time. But that's all right there. I'm just like, you motherfucker for saying that. And then the whole thing, and then, it was just awesome working opposite him. And that scene, it's one of my favorite scenes I've ever been a part of. But he made, I think, $20 million for it, and I think I made less than my mortgage.
Weird.
Which, although for California, that's
$1.7 million. Yeah. Now, I love living in Nevada. I am up and down happy. I mean, I got a house that's twice the size for millions less. It's insane. There's no state income tax, personal income tax, the corporate tax is lower, much less regulations, so much more shit you can do.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go shoot guns. I just get in my truck and I drive out in the desert 25 minutes and set them up and just shoot targets, and I can do whatever I want. And, it's
which is crazy because if you ever wanted to shoot guns in Texas, you could always just drive down here and we'll
I'm
do
coming
that
down.
with you,
I'm coming down.
Shoot a gun or two.
Yeah, I'd love to. Love to.
We can talk about guns on the after show?
We going to the after show?
Yeah.
After show.
Great. You lead it out. After show is only about 10 minutes long.
And then we can go get food, dinner. What do we want to do?
I'm down for whatever, man.
I gotta go. I gotta go work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's why
this is
eat.
dinner for
that's
me.
That's why you eat.
Oh, you know what? I didn't eat shit
That
today.
right there is dinner. That's crazy.
You had 3 White Claws.
Yeah,
Dean Cain, you need to eat, Superman.
Stop it. I have to work tomorrow.
All right. Connor's your new twink. Come here.
No, Connor,
Get on his back.
My twink smells like Marlboro Reds.
How did you know?
Give me keys. You've been one of our favorite guests in a long time.
Hey man,
This is
I love it. I love it.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Well, I
Blast.
came around was your donut operator stuff, man. 1,000% became a huge fan. I've worn your T-shirts in like so many different things. Like there's a movie that I wrote, produced, and directed that's going to come out, and I'm wearing one of your donut operator T-shirts, one with the donut here, the pink donut. Everybody's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What is it?" So I get a million questions, but I wore it in the movie for I don't know, several scenes, and I'm coaching soccer for little 12-year-old girls.
What's the movie called?
It's called Little Angels. It's a great. It's the Mighty Ducks basically. It's a college football coach who gets busted for saying that he had in the national championship game. Game's over. We've got the win. We scored another touchdown. Sends in a girl kicker to kick the point after, and she danks it off the upright. And he's like, it was a publicity stunt. She's a soccer player. She's a woman. She sucks. She shouldn't have been out there. We're in America. Soccer's for girls. Boom, busted. He has to sit out for a whole year, go through sensitivity training, and do community service, which was coaching girls soccer. And then he starts coaching them. He gets the loser team, of course, and then he starts to coach them, and then he starts to like them. Then he starts to really care about them, and then he has to either coach the national championship football game because he goes through all this stuff and gets done, or coach the girls' championship. He's been teaching them team and teamwork and all this stuff.
I've got a great idea for a sequel.
Come on.
All right.
You didn't even know how the first one ended.
Oh, you already
the
know
little girls, right? And then
Of
you went
course.
He's like, peace out, bitches. And then they won the championship.
$5 million bucks.
My idea, it's just kind of like First Blood is like a very genuine, heartfelt, fucking veteran sympathy movie. First Blood Part 2. You come back with a fucking team full of transgender male soccer players and dominate the field. Just wipe the field.
Hey, Disney would buy that, dude. That's all I'm saying.
You see some of the stuff some stuff came out today about Disney and some Disney workers.
Yeah.
On just that, would not hire a white guy for something. I forgot exactly what it was. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
wow.
It was some project.
But that's when
shit.
I pull my Japaneseness out.
Yeah.
That's it.
My name is Takada.
Tanaka.
Tanaka.
Damn it, it's Tanaka-san. Actually, my really close, some of my good friends will call me Tanaka. You know, they're like, there was
Gangster name.
Yeah, it is a gangster name. That was that Mater gangster, James Bond guy, Tanaka.
Tanaka-san.
All right, moving to the after show. Guys, thank you so much for coming to the Unsubscribed podcast. I was joined today by Eli Doubletap, the amazing Dean Cain, Brandon Herrera, and myself, Donut Operator. As I said, check out the After podcast on Patreon.
And Mr. Dean Cain, where can we find your shit?
Let's see, on X, at Real Dean Cain, and on...
Please don't do that ever again.
Please, never do that. Don't do that. Welcome to X.
I'm like, oh, God.
And then...
He likes kissing the tweet.
Who doesn't? And on Instagram, what is it? Oh, it's a stupid name. Deuces 1966, because my son made it for me back. I was born in 1966. I know that's fucked up. But yeah, 1966. You're like, God, wasn't that World War II? No, it was not World War II. It was after. And Deuces, he'd always be like, Deuce is dead, because he was young at the time. And so I'm Deuces 1966, and I will not change it.
Dad, I got the coolest handle for you.
Deuces 1966. Yep. That's what it is on Instagram. That's it.
Boom.
I'm on nothing else.
Check him out and then go hang out with After Show. We talk about, I don't know yet. Guns.
We'll talk about girls.
Guns and girls.
I can't wait.
And twinks.
Bye.
Pee-pee time. Pee-pee time.